Well, she
from a marketing point of view, purely from a marketing point of view.
But well, then the problem, let's say you get Harris over the line. What do you then try and do to sort of build that team around her and try to make sure that she emulates the same enjoyment, the same confidence that she's producing here at Melbourne?
Yeah, it's hard because I think, as you said, Taylor Harris is a confidence. She's always been a confidence player, and I think at Melbourne, weirdly, even though she's been playing really, really well, I do actually think she's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. She's happy for the other players like Daisy Pearce, Karen Paxman, Tyler Hanks, Kate Hoare even, to sort of, take that limelight, and she just will be in that system and play her role, and she's happy to do that. But I think if she goes to a Sydney and she's made a marquee player, she loses a little bit of that as well.
I think that's exactly what the problem was when she went to Carlton. Because she came to Carlton from Brisbane as a high expectation player, and not only she suffered, but the club suffered as a result of that, and she's left, and the club's still suffering. But I think it's. But I agree spot on with your point. I think that she's only got a role to do. It's contest marks, kick goals if she can. But the thing that I noticed as well is that she's getting other players involved. She's especially on Monday night, she hit up, I think it was Eliza West in a particular bit of play. That
was a very good kick.
It was a lovely kick. That's the sort of kick you just absolutely love seeing from key forwards.
Yeah.
Just for the other two expansion clubs and who should they sign first, can we all agree, is it fait accompli that once the AFLW season finishes, the Port Adelaide Football Club will roll out the press conference, roll out the table, roll out the banner and go, ladies and gentlemen, our number one signing, Erin Phillips?
I think there's still a lot to happen between then and now. I think if Adelaide wins the grand final, I'm not sure she'll play on. But I also think, given the knee injury she's just had as well, I think there's just all these little reminders that are happening along the way to say that maybe this could be her last year. Yeah,
look, as much as I've tossed the sentiment around a lot, and I've enjoyed the thought of seeing Erin Phillips live up to the Phillips name playing at Port Adelaide, I think the more I think about it, the more it's like, her knee. I think Port would be better off if they didn't sign her. I think you look at the whole Adelaide core list, and a lot of promising youngsters coming through the ranks at the moment. Even if you managed to snatch one of Anne Hatchard or Ebony Marinoff, that would be an absolute coup for the power.
Wouldn't there, though, be with Erin Phillips just that little burning desire going, I've just got to have one season in that jumper. I've just got to have one.
100%. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. And I think and we know that Erin Phillips is a consummate professional, and we know she'll do whatever it takes to get her body right. One last season at Port, it would be an ultimate women's football fantasy to see her play one more year in her dad's colours.
Now with Essendon, this is a curious one. There's probably 4 options I see on the table. Do you either A, bring out the local find someone from the Calder Cannons and say, okay, this is our pick, bit like Hawthorn with Bridget Deed, we're going local for our first ever signing? Do you 2, go with Georgia Nanscorn and just go, look, here's the VFLW reigning best and fairest?
I was about to say, it has to be Georgia Nanscorn.
Do you 3, go with just an ordinary VFLW footballer that's just having a great season and just say, hey, it's second opportunities? Or 4, do you go with a prize recruit that you've got from elsewhere? It doesn't necessarily have to be Maddie Prasparkas, but a prize recruit from elsewhere that you know is an Essendon supporter to kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the other big-name recruits out there of Essendon supporters. Time to come home. Come home.
Look, I think probably the easiest one is to announce Nanscorn as the first signing, because obviously she's been just head and shoulders the best player that I've seen in VFLW footy over the last year. But I think if you want to really cause a ruckus in the AFLW, you try and poach one of those star players that came from the Calder Cannons at the early age. I'm thinking of the Prasparkases. Chloe Malloy was a Calder girl as well. I wouldn't mind asking the question about her.
Hey, she's a loyal girl. She's a loyal girl. She's not going to do it. The comments last week.
I was going to say. Well, to paraphrase what Pete just said, money talks.
She has a job at North Melbourne, but Emma Carney grew up an Essendon supporter.
I don't see Emma Carney going anywhere. I think she's somebody that truly bleeds for North Melbourne at the moment.
I think the general consensus from everyone is that Maddie Prasparkas is probably the one everyone's watching, only because Carlton's fallen in a hole.
Yeah.
If everyone's not looking at Melbourne, and maybe they're with North because it's like, okay, a player may stay there because they see their side in the premiership window. But if you're even with St Kilda as well, or even maybe even a Richmond, if you're down the bottom end, if you're a player going, well, I'm down the bottom end anyway, you might as well go to the expansion club if they're going to offer a little more. Yeah, well, look, it's a tough one, and I think I want to bring up my club, the Doggies, as an example. A few years ago, I mean, we were, 2018, we were top of the heap, and then we've seen North poach our players, Geelong poach a couple of players, and even then, like as we were sort of on our knees list-wise, Richmond came in and took our captain, took our best player in the midfield. It's not Ellie Blackburn, in Monconti. But I think, I'll tell you what, the more I think about it, the more enticing that Maddie Prince-Parker. I know my colleague Alex Catalano has been far and wide trying to campaign for Maddie to come home to Essendon, and look, I'm all about that. I'm 100% on board of that. I think it's I think if you get her on board, I think could do we even see Georgie Prince-Parker's come to Essendon? I mean, there's a bit of talk about the sort of connection between her home and Geelong. I think. Don't know the exact numbers off by heart, but it's not a short walk from the Essendon district to Geelong. That much I do know. We might take this opportunity to take a break here on our pre-game show on WolfRadio.com. When we come back, we'll have the bounce down of the Darebin Falcons versus Hawthorn, a VFLW Round 3 clash.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Lowe, long jump gold medalist and world record holder. When I was 15, I was waiting to catch my train. In a split second, my life changed. As the train arrived, the crowd surged forward. I was too close to the platform edge, lost my balance, and fell into the path of the oncoming train. I was in a coma for 2 weeks, and it took 2 years to walk again. So please, stand back, look up, and stay rail safe.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
Hey. Hi.
Yo, what's up? We're here for Rad.
Here's a simple word of advice.
Don't drink and drive.
If you plan to drink, plan ahead.
Give up the keys.
Either drink or drive. Don't mess around trying to do both.
When you drink and drive, you're risking the life of yourself and the lives of everybody on the road.
It takes a lot of courage to convince a friend not to drive after they've been drinking, but you might just be saving their life.
So if you plan to drink, plan not to drive.
Been playing for a while, sweet kicks, 'cause footy makes you smile, sweet kicks football. If you're getting ready for the trials, gotta go the extra mile, sweet kicks football.
Not always hearing that sweet sound when you kick the ball? Need to develop your footwork or explosive speed? Want to take the next step in your footy career? Then you need Sweet Kicks. More info on our Facebook page or go to our website, sweetkicksfootballacademy.com.au.
Gotta go the extra mile, Sweet Kicks football.
There's jumpers, hoodies, and tees for you at leaguetees.com.au.
Leaguetees.com.au is your place for retro footy gear with designs created by local artists that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, their unique range of women's footy tees help raise funds for Indigenous literacy programs. Get online and start shopping today.
leaguetees.com.au.
We are the Australian Literacy and Numeracy Foundation, striving to empower our most marginalised communities through literacy and education. Literacy is having a voice. Literacy is opportunity. Literacy is dreaming big. Literacy is freedom. Today, you can help end inequality and give every child access to our life-changing and proven literacy programs. Your support is vital. Donate now at alnf.org.
Storms are Australia's most costly natural disaster. Get
Getting prepared now is the best way to protect people and to minimise damage to your property. Keep your gutters, downpipes and drains clear and stash any loose items in yards or on balconies. Trim any trees and branches hanging too close to your house and keep your roof in good repair. For emergency help, call the SES on 132 500.
Feeling a little down? Drop into the Reach Out website at reachout.com.au and let us put a spring back in your step. When times are tough, clear your head at reachout.com.au.
It's women's Aussie rules, they're doing what they love. They're fast, they're tough, don't mess with them cause they can get rough. Are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready for the match? It's the call of the game, it's the VFL Women's Match of the Day. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Indeed it is the VFL Women's Match of the Day here on WARFradio.com. 11 a.m. bounce down for Darebin versus Hawthorn. Let's head down boundary side first. John O'Van, the conditions down there.
Yeah, just more of the same than previous. It's very muggy, just a little bit dewy underfoot, which can create some slippery conditions. Teams-wise, I've spoken to Hawthorn. I noticed that Tamara Luke, the captain, was still in her media polo and other things associated with, I guess, not playing. So she has withdrawn. You might have heard Cherie mention another change. That was Tam. As a result, it will be Nick Garner, number 4, taking the captain's band today.
Thank you very much there to John O'Van down there on the boundary. Bet on Alex Doherty, and to get you underway, here's Lucy Watkin.
So first siren sounds for round 3. Perrott won the tap down, tried to get it to Zaghetti. Kick away was won there by the Falcons. Kemp underneath it, spun through the tackle, tried to get a handball away. Did well to Shannon. Humphrey came through, kicked him on the ground. Up this broadcast wing, wrapped up immediately by Buckley, Callanan, Mifsud also around the football. So we'll have a ball up. Centre wing, broadcast side of Latrobe University. Tap down one by Perrott. To the arms of Mifsud, who was wrapped up immediately. So we'll have another stoppage. Both teams, 1 win, 1 loss so far to start the VFLW season. Lynch gets it out the back. Picked off by Zaghetti. Her kick goes to centre half forward. Williams just dropped the mark. Handball to Whelan. Didn't quite get there. Callanan now just fishes out a handball. Goes back to win it. Pulled off the football. And it'll be a high free kick going the way of the Falcons to Nikki Callanan in defensive 50.
The veteran for the Darebin Falcons played in 7 premierships across VFLW and AFLW. McKay gets pushed off the football. Now, was she looking for the boundary line deliberately?
Oh.
Yes. Yes, according to the umpire. The quick appeal coming from the player that got the resulting free kick, and that is Hawthorn's Stratton. And Stratton swings around on the left boot, goes long inside 50, cleared over several heads. Callanan waiting at the back, gives off the handball. The quick little short kick was trying to go up the line to Buckley. Ball went past her. Hurried soccer kick off the ground by McKay to try and gain some distance. We get to centre wing, broadcast side. Kemp with her head over the footy, knocked it on. Maybe a little scoop throw. Umpire said that was fine. Hawks football. Long kick towards the half-forward flank position. One bounce, holds up. Stratton will turn around and get on her left boot. Put it in towards the hot spot, 35 metres out from goal. Trying to make a contest of it, and that occasion was Plunkett. The ball had hit the ground. Darebin with it only as far as Stratton again is racking up early possessions. Stratton on the left boot, 40 metres out from goal. Coming in and cutting off her own teammate was Shannon to take the mark. Shannon goes towards the goal square. Came off hands. Hurry, snap. Is this the Hawks first? No, It's away to the right-hand side. And out of bounds on the fall. Here's the dock.
They're looking good early, the Hawks. They're just trying to take the game on at every possible chance they can. Great start from Kirsty Stratton. Already a few good disposals. Trying to look inboard every time they go forward 50.
So it looks like it actually missed everything. Gunn took a free kick for out of bounds on the full. Worked it to the pocket to Lawson Tavern, who goes to Gogos. She goes short to Buckley, who marks on the 50. She's going to work it up this broadcast wing. Trying to collect it. On the bounce was Revolt. She couldn't quite get it. Von Berto cleaned up. Whelan got out of traffic, sends it back inside 50 for the Hawks. Out the back is Carbone, sends it just into space on the outer pocket. Running towards it now in that left forward pocket was Cameron, tackled immediately. Garner on the outside of the boot. Strong defensive mark taken there by Lawson Tavern of the Falcons. The last line of defence in the goal square. Called to play on. Risky kick. Buckley made it a contest against Stratton. Brought it to ground. Whelan over the top. Tries to get away from traffic. Spun in the tackle. Just got a handball to Zaghetti. Working in the right forward pocket. Snap towards goal. Into the goal square. Couldn't find her target. Now it's in the hands of Jessie Williams. Weaves one way. Weaves another. Sends it towards goal. And she's nailed it. First goal of the game goes the way of the Hawks. Jessie Williams, the kicker. 1 straight 6 leads Darebin yet to score. 16 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Well, that was a terrific snap. Great goal sense there from Jessie Williams. You see what Darebin are trying to do when they get the ball in the defensive 50, and they're just trying to play that short game, and the kicks are just skewing off to the side of the boot, and it's allowing the Hawks players to just come in and try and pluck the ball, and they're doing what they like off the turnover at the moment. It's not a great start for Darebin.
That's Alex Doherty of the Mongrel Punt. That is a website. No comment on his kicking style.
No, my left boot's pretty immaculate, Peter.
As we have the ball back at the middle of the ground, the umpire looking around, making sure everyone is in position, and we'll restart the play once more. A little bit of pushing and shoving going off right on the edge of the centre circles as we throw the ball up in the air and begin again. Missed out by Sally Lynch to Darebin as the ball hit the ground. Good roving work there by the Hawks with a hurry kick. That time courtesy of Beraldson, who went inside 50 with the ball. Juggled around Lawson Tavern, couldn't quite hang on to it. Trying to get there is Mifsud. Mifsud allowed it to get out the back door to Beraldson and get it straight up her own kick. On the right boot. How does it look? Oh, it's at the woodwork. Would have been a brilliant one if she finished it off. Hawks 1-1-7. Darebin yet to score. 15 minutes remaining here on this first term.
So Blackwood is going to bring it in to the Falcons. Works it to the pocket, short to Plunkett. She's going to go towards half back. It's a 2-on-1. Whelan did well to make it a contest. Broadson couldn't get past this tackle.
Good tackle.
Holding the ball. So a free kick going the way of Hazlitt, of Darebin. Working inside defensive 50. Goes short across to Callanan. Paid the mark. Plays on. Nope. She'll be brought back there after she was dispossessed by Mifsud. So Callanan just looking for the options up the field. Pretty much every single player is in the Hawks forward 50. Half, and it's 50 now. Mifsud thought the umpire had said play on. He didn't. So she stepped over the stand rule, and Callanan will be marched up the middle of La Trobe University. Now she plays on. First inside 50 of the day for the Falcons. It's a good kick. Lynch couldn't take the mark and then was pushed off it. Sorry, McAloon, that is. It's centre half forward for the Falcons. He's got plenty of leads inside forward 50. Just pops it up inside to the hot spot. Oh, strong mark over the top. Not taken by McClendon. Hawks work it through Whelan back to centre half back. Von Berto gets it off hands. Tackled. The umpire see it, holding the ball.
That is a great tackle.
So great defensive pressure from the Falcons there through McAloon. She gets it right back where she had her first kick there. Centre half forward. Elects to go shorter this time. 2-on-1. Now the Hawks will clear through Kemp. Works it out wide to McRae. Gets it on the bounce. Now is to work around her opponent. Grab a kick up the line. Bounced through the legs of Lawson into the hands of Dom Carbone. Just turned, played on quickly. Was looking for a teammate. Cameron, good defensive pressure. Now Stratton, who's had plenty of the ball early for the Hawks. Tries to get through congestion. Just popped a handball up. Cameron did well in traffic. Her handball backwards to McRae here on this broadcast wing. She was wrapped up by Hazlitt. And will have a ball up.
Current score at the moment, Hawthorn 1-1-7. Darebin yet to score here on the VFLW match of the day on WARFradio.com. One out on that occasion by Sally Lynch. Brought the ball to ground. Lynch will go back and do her own roving work. Put it down the throat of Hazlitt, who got immediately dumped into the ground by Caitlin Cox. And the umpire says, I'll take the football back, please, and we'll restart the play. Half-forward flank here for Hawthorn. Broadcast side of the ground. Ball got down to the deck for Beraldson. Beraldson swung around on the left boot. Dribbles it towards the half-forward flank position. Excellent run-down tackle from behind by Cameron. Umpire says it's not paid. Play on. Whelan swings around towards the hot spot. 45 metres out from goal. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on as Nick Garner gets on the end of it. Garner gives off the hand pass. One-step kick. How does this look for the Hawks? It's away to the left-hand side and will register as a minor score. 1-2-8 Hawthorn. Darebin yet to score. We've gone about 8 minutes in this first term, and on special comments today, here is Alex Doherty.
Well, Darebin's pressure has been pretty good to start proceedings. I've really liked their tackling, but every time Hawthorn get the ball out, they've got an extra number to give off, and at the moment they're looking quite dominant early.
So Von Berto takes the intercept mark 60 metres from the Hawks' goal, goes short inside 50. So it's going to be cleared here by the Darebin defence, straight up the middle of the ground. Got it to the feet of a teammate in Macaloon. Back inside 50 now for the Hawks. Strong defensive pressure inside 50 from Francis. Plenty of players on top of the ball here, 45 metres from the Hawks' goal. So we'll have a ball up. So Hawks leading 1-2-8. Darebin yet to score. Halfway through this first quarter. Tap down. Won by Lynch. But the ball immediately goes to ground, and it's not going anywhere. Don Carbone on the bottom of that one with Blackwood. So ball up pretty much in the exact same spot, 45 metres from the Hawks' goal. Goes back to ground. Carbone again involved at ground level. Plenty of players over the top of it. But we'll have another ball up.
So the umpire will take the footy back and throw it high in the air, and away we go again. One out on that occasion by Lynch. Stolen away by the Hawks. Original hand pass by Zaghetti. Now the kick high towards the top of the square. Came off hands. Coming in to lay the tackle. McKay for Darebin. Her little kick off the boot has just been intercepted by Caitlin Cox, who picked it off and tried to bend it back. It's just on the line. Would have brought the house down with that one. Hawthorn 1-3-9. Darebin yet to score. Alex Doherty, the Hawks, peppering away. Just can't get it between the big sticks.
Well, they're firmly in control of this game at the moment, Peter, and I think the Falcons have got to try and start to clamp down, because that kick there, no Falcon was anywhere near her. They've got to try and hem the loose players in.
And McNeese's kick out from defence was intercepted momentarily there by Perrott. Ball was dropped by her. Going in there with Sally Lynch again for Darebin. Gave it off. Long kick up the line. Umpire says bit of pushing going on here in the contest, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Hawks. And there'll still be an opportunity for them to try and go back inside 50 again, except it's Eliza Shannon who elects to go for the switch, and she manages to find her filling captain for today, Nick Garner.
Nick Garner, smack bang in the middle of the ground. Elects to go inside 50. Goes over the head of Dom Carbone. Callanan working now in defence. Ran into trouble, so had to get a quick kick away. Plunkett now works with her teammate McNeese. Over the top, hits the ground. Callanan again, right on 50, scrapping for the ball. Gets the handball to Mills. Her quick kick will be stopped by Perrott. Has a bit of time. Kick came off the side of the boot, and we're just working between the 50 tackle now, and a strong tackle by Boulding means it's going to stay back in the possession of the Hawks. Works it inside 50, looking for Williams. Couldn't get a hand to it, and Millie Shon will take the intercept mark. So they still haven't passed the centre of the ground at Darebin for a little bit. Time in forward half definitely being dominated by the Hawks, and the kick's been taken by Shannon. Plays on quickly, goes inside 50. Intercept mark was dropped. Opened the door for Cox. Zaghetti got a hand to it, got the handball back. Did the don't argue, and now sends it inside 50, looking for a target. Mark not taken. Opens the door for the Falcons' defence, but some great defensive pressure from Cameron. Boulding kept it in. Umpires found a free kick. And it's going to be a free kick to Sophie Boulding. So very, very tight angle. She'll be kicking from the boundary about 30 metres out. Umpire just adjusting her line.
Darebin have covered off the exits here. They've set up pretty well, trying to deny the inboard pass.
So the kick goes to the top of the goal square. It's going to be cleared by the Falcons. Zaghetti, though, comes through. Kick from the pocket around the body. goes to the goal line, but it's not going to go through. Plunkett tries to find Sean. Umpire says play on, her mark wasn't taken. McRae was held. So now Grace McRae with the opportunity. Another tight angle on the opposite side of Latrobe, the outer side. Still 40 metres from goal. Looks like she's going to go inboard, and she does, and she finds Zaghetti.
Zaghetti with the football, 45 metres out from goal. As she stands at the moment, she's outside the paint. Certainly won't be able to get the distance from here. Probably just waiting for the forward 50 to open up a little more. Williams was leading towards the pocket. That's ignored. She'll go long for the goal square instead. The ball sits up in flight. Good strong mark taken back there. And Gina Lawson-Tavern is the one who swallows the pill deep in defence. She elects to go towards the back pocket. Now finding Michaelia Meyer. Meyer now from the back pocket will go for a run with no one on the mark. Swings it around, kicking wide towards the broadcast side wing. It's gone past the half-back flank. Ball is still dribbling along the carpet. Is it holding without the football against Rebelt? Umpire said no, it was fair. Kemp had it momentarily for the Hawks. Got it quickly across to Humphreys. Humphreys goes towards the 50-metre paint. Umpire says push out in the contest. And it's going the way of the Darebin Falcons. Gina Lawson-Tavern again getting another possession. Her side down by 9 points, 6 minutes remaining first term. Comes inboard with the kick. Juggling football, right off the pack. Taken by McLinden. McLinden goes inside 50. Did have a vacant forward pocket. The race is on. Half a dozen players coming out after it. Putting a little bump in there is Bolding. Does well to keep it alive. Jesse Williams there as well. Ball kicked along the carpet. Picked up by Caitlin Cox. Caitlin Cox. Oh. Caitlin Cox goes for home. It'll just fall short. But it doesn't matter. She's got a markers and not paid in the goal square.
Oh.
Well, that's a bit stiff. And taking it away is Millie Sean for the Darebin Falcons. She'll go for a bounce, clear it out of defence. Sean kicks it long up towards the centre wing position. 2-on-2 is the race, and the Falcons manage to figure it out.
So Falcons now working it into their forward half. There's a player calling for it. It's Simpson at centre half forward, goes in that direction. Grace McRae did really well. Back with the flight. Great intercept mark. Centre half back, Grace McRae works it wide to Ainsley Kemp, who's got a bit of time and space here on the broadcast wing. Goes short, finds Bolding, good mark, centre wing, just in front of the interchange benches. Looks to go inboard, this is great ball movement from the Hawks. Zaghetti inside the centre square now, centre half forward to Williams. So great chain of possession from the Hawks. Humphreys now, centre half forward, plays on. Goes towards goal. Got a player in the goal square. Stratton.
Well done.
Marks. Plays on. Kicks the Hawks second from point blank range. 2-3-15 Hawks lead to Darebin. Yet to score. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. That was the best piece of play we've seen all day.
Unbelievable. They just used the angle superbly. Set up brilliantly by the intercept mark by Grace McRae. Conveniently, you look at Darebin, and there's no one. There was probably like two players forward of the ball heading into that kick, and that's because Darebin have got a couple of spares behind the ball because they're getting absolutely pummeled in around stoppages and in around contested play. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword for Darebin. They've got to try and get some players forward of the ball.
But the sun really starting to come out. We'll go to boundary side soon with John O'Ven. He's just catching up with a player, and we'll go with him very shortly. But we have the ball back in the middle of the ground. 15-0 Hawthorn lead Darebin here in the first term at Latrobe University. Wheeling gets the hand pass away. Cox now on the right boot, going inside 50. Stratton takes a mark and should be lining up for goal 30 metres out in a slight angle to the dock.
She's brought her own footy today, Christy Stratton. It's unbelievable.
Five disposals so far.
5 disposals already, and at every disposal she's had, it felt like it's got meaning, it's got purpose. So again, another great centre clearance out of the middle by Hawthorn.
In comes Stratton, puts it on the left boot. It is high, it is straight, and it's through the middle. Hawthorn 3-3-21, Darebin yet to score. 17 minutes gone first term here on wolfradio.com. Might take this opportunity to get some thoughts down boundary side with John O'Ven, who I see is standing next to Hawthorn's reigning karaoke champion, Jess Trend.
Jess Trend is going absolutely ballistic down here. She's given Stratton the nickname the Strat Attack. She's absolutely up and about.
Oh, I love that. The Strat Attack.
Absolutely fantastic. So she's given you express permission to use that, despite not actually telling. She's given the fist pump up to the commentary box. She's enjoyed that, and so does the rest of the Hawthorn camp.
Strat Attack. That is brilliant. Just come out with nicknames, every week, and I tell you what, it's brilliant. I love it.
So back to the middle. Mifsud tried to crash through Nick Callanan, but she wasn't going anywhere, so we'll have a secondary stoppage. Just 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hawthorn dominated so far. Whelan won the tap, ran into Gogos and Callanan, brought to ground. So we'll have another ball up, edging ever so closely to Hawthorn's inside 50. But now it's won away by Plunkett. Steph Simpson trying to get separation from Ainsley Kemp. Just paddles it to herself. Kemp will win this battle. Handball. Was looking for a teammate, but there's going to be a free kick, and it will go to Kemp for a hold. So the Hawks stop another foray inside 50 by the Falcons, and Kemp works it inside the centre square to Mifsud. So it's still on the defensive side of the ground, the Hawks. Can they work it like they did a few moments ago? Whelan now. Has Humphrey leading up to her, has Stratton.
Whoa. Kick
doesn't find either of them. Callanan did well to just paddle it to her teammate Lawson Tavern's advantage, but she was wrapped up immediately by Stratton. Could have been a push in the back, but the umpire saw it differently. Hawks leading by 21 points, a minute to go.
And taken immediately by Whelan, who's got the wheels all right. She swings around towards the half-forward flank position. Went over the head of Francisi. Ball is on the ground. Who's going to try and pick it up? It's Plunkett who quickly got the hand pass away. Now with, a long kick. It's dangerous. Right across the hot spot at 40 metres out from goal. 2-on-2, and the Hawks went out with it with a snap on goal from Williams away to the right, and will register as a minor score. 3-4-22 Hawthorn. Darebin yet to score. Under a minute to play here in the first term.
I'll tell you what, you encourage those sort of kicks every time, but that kick just wasn't on there. I mean, it was a 2-on-2 situation. It enabled the Hawks players. They were lucky to get away with just a point.
I hate 90-degree kicks. You've got to try and kick it forward and kick it with purpose on an angle to run onto it. Otherwise, you leave your teammate to sit and duck, as it's intercepted here by the Hawks by Mifsud. Mifsud's got 7 seconds. She's got to find a pass quickly. She sets it up. Oh, was just dropped at the crucial moment. Quick hands off. The snap from Whelan. Will fall short in the goal square. And the Hawthorn player took the mark. I don't know. Maybe she should have done a little bit of body work to let it bounce and see what happens. I don't know.
Look, it certainly doesn't go without question, Peter. I wouldn't mind seeing a body blocked just to see where the ball bounces. It probably wouldn't have gone through for a goal anyway, but geez, you just wonder about those sort of things half the time.
Let's go down to John O'Venner on the boundary.
Sun's really breaking through, and it's heating up, but according to the weather report, still staying at 23 degrees, and feels like 23 degrees. Very hard to believe, and very humid down here. I'll have more to say on the weather after this. Hopefully not chat, but I've been chatting with the Hawks all first quarter, but hopefully listening to the Hawks huddle and see what Cherie's got to say.
Yeah, turn it up on that 23 degrees. It feels like it's 30 up here.
Just quickly to Lucy Watkin, who was a Melbourne Cricket Club player in another life. Lucy, if you won the toss today, are you batting or bowling on this wicket?
I always like to field first, bowl first.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like to sit down for a while.
If we're looking at actual pitch conditions, it's very green. So, yes, I'd agree with you, Luce. It's win the toss and bowl first.
Yeah.
Oh, 0-mate. 3-4-22 Hawthorn, Darebin, no score. Players that impressed both of you, Lucy Watkin and Alex Doherty.
Obviously, I think the standout at the moment has been Chrissy Stratton. I think the two goals, how many disposals has she been on?
She's got 6 now.
Up to 6 at the moment. She's running wild. Love the defensive efforts from Ainsley Kemp every time the ball's been down there. Won some important one-on-ones as well. Grace McRae I've liked. Emma Humphreys I think has been pretty solid. At the moment, the Hawks players, they're just playing selfless team-first football at the moment. I think that's the reason why they are where they are at the moment. 22 points ahead. Could have been more, to be honest.
7 scoring shots, very impressive. They dominated the time in forward half, and as we've seen in the AFLW, if you dominate time in forward half, result is probably going to go your way. But Gina Lawson-Tavern is actually leading the disposals on the ground. She's got 8. She's playing it down in defence for the Falcons. Amy Whelan also with 8. She's shown some real dash through the midfield. Some good clearance work as well.
Absolutely. I mean, she's got some wheels on her, obviously, Amy Whelan, and as well Seghetti, I think, has had a really strong blue-collared game through the midfield as well. I think it's, she's been very, very good.
We'll take a quick break at quarter time. Hawthorn 3-4-22. Darebin yet to score.
What do you listen to while you're waiting for the next VFLW game on Wharf Radio? Do you long for the days when radio stations played music that you knew without being constantly bombarded with ads and by announcers who want to make it about themselves and not about the music? Welcome to GoRadio.live. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing the very best music of the past 70 years. You can listen at www.goradio.live, or better still, download the free GoRadio.live app for your Apple or Android device. GoRadio.live. It's radio as it should be.
Life can be really tough when you or a close family member has cancer. But if you're 12 to 25, Canteen's in your corner. Canteen provides whatever practical and emotional support you need, from connecting you with other young people who get what you're going through, to helping you develop new skills to cope, and just bringing back some fun into your world. So if cancer's messing with your life, check out canteen.org.au. And remember, Canteen's in your corner.
If you've had something stolen,
or if you've had property damaged, you need the police, not the sirens. If you've lost something or found something valuable,
or if you want to register a party or let us know you're going away on holiday, you need the police, not the sirens. When you need the police but not the sirens, you can now report these incidents online at police.vic.gov.au or call 131 444.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
No matter what your age, most of us played sport when we were young, and there was always one thing that made you want to disappear into the corner or even give up your chosen sport. And that was when somebody on the sideline hurled abuse at either you or a teammate or an official. These are things that make sport so painful for so many kids, and the time has come to stop it. I'm Usman Khawaja from the Australian cricket team. My message is a simple one. Let kids be kids. Let them enjoy their sport. Find out more at playbytherules.net.au.
Indeed, it is the VFL Women's Match of the Day. Darebin and Hawthorn here on WARFradio.com. And if you're listening to us and you have trouble finding the YouTube stream, it's because they set the link on private. Let me tell you that if you go to our Twitter account, at Wharf Radio, we have just tweeted the YouTube link now, so you'll be able to see that after it got texted to us. So at Wharf Radio, you'll be able to see that YouTube link. It was just attached to one of our previous tweets this morning. Have a look at that. And, yes, please share it around with many people as possible. Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin, Alex Doherty and John O'Venn with you. In fact, we might head down boundary line first. John O'Venn was listening to Sheree O'Neill and the Hawthorn Huddle. Sheree, very happy with the first quarter start from the Hawks. Very happy with ball movement throughout the ground. However, handball receives inside 50, need a bit of work. And just to use time and space, it's very important.
Yeah, well, I think the fact that we've just got some of the stats here, 16 inside 50s that quarter from Hawthorn. It's clear as day that they're dominating control of the ball. Clearances are on top as well, 6-1. And I think you just got to make the most of those opportunities. Just a little bit of cleanliness. You know, you touched on Lawson Tavern before. We went to break. I think without her, this could have been a 5-goal quarter from the Hawks.
Yeah, she's stood up really strongly in defence. Lawson Tavern, I think they've done some really good job. I think Nicole Callanan and Angelica Gogos as well in the middle are applying a lot of tackle pressure as well.
We're just about ready to get the second quarter underway here at La Trobe University. To get us started once again, here is Lucy Watkin.
So umpire just checking the numbers on the field. Hawthorn 3-4-22, leading Darebin yet to score. There's the siren for the second quarter. Umpire balls it up. Perrott, Cox couldn't win the clearance. Now Callanan, she'll win the first clearance for the Falcons, but it's going to be taken away by Kristen Hay of the Hawks. Gets it out wide to McRae. She sends it up the far side of the ground to half forward to Williams. McNeese will get there first. Williams did really well, just couldn't keep it in play. So we'll have a ball up far side of the ground, about 55 metres from the Hawks goal. They'll be kicking to the left side of screen, the left side of your dial this second quarter. Perrott, 2 taps, brought it to ground. Belrooston lost her footing. Cox, handball over the top, slapped away by Callanan. Now she goes back to Clear defensive 50. McRae underneath it. Another strong defensive mark on the edge of the centre square.
And she'll go with a switch kick. Is it going to set up for Nicole Garner? No, just went through her hands. Got to back off the bounce. Got her kick away towards the pocket. Ball does one bounce, which draws the player towards her in Garner, who got it back again. Immediately smothered off her boot by McNeese. McNeese maybe got the player in Zaghetti over the shoulder. The umpire agreed and said that is a free kick. So Lauren Zaghetti, she has the football. She's outside the paint. She kicks it towards the hotspot, 35 metres out from goal. And a beautiful pass, hitting the player right on the chest.
Oh, it's Stratton again.
And Christy Stratton will say, I feel like 3 goals today. I might just go back and have a shot.
Could be on for a massive bag today, Peter.
Stratton creeps in. She'll be kicking from 31 metres out, directly in front. Builds up a bit of speed before coming in. And she's got 3. Hawthorn 4-4-28. Darebin no score. 2 minutes gone. Second term here at La Trobe University. Here's some thoughts on the dock.
I'll tell you what, that lead up there from Christy Stratton was brilliant. It's what you want as a forward. She's not big on size, but geez, she's got some speed and she can cause a lot of problems for the opposition defenders. And I'll tell you what, Grace McRae's marking hands so far this half has been just absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, McRae, she's taken 2 very strong contested marks. A lot of courage too. Both she's back into the contest as well.
Yeah, well, she's obviously got the great IQ of reading the play, and she's got the strong hands. So I'll tell you what, the way it's going.
So Hawks, another goal on the board early in this first quarter. Only 3 minutes gone, and they've hit the scoreboard as we go back to the middle of the ground. It was immediately hit the ground and it was stopped, so another stoppage. Zaghetti tapped straight into her lap, but she was tackled and brought to ground. So we're back inside the centre circle for another stoppage. So what can Darebin do to get back into this contest? Lynch, won her own tap down, was tackled by her opposing ruck in Perrott. And we'll have another stoppage just besides the centre circle. So Perrott and Lynch go again. Lynch this time. Gets a bit of space. Simpson slapped it away. Sean. She's lurking. Kick was smothered. Now Simpson with the kick to centre half forward. It's going to be intercepted by Shannon. She's trying to appeal that Mills ran over the mark and she should get a 50.
Should have.
Umpire didn't pay it as she works now towards Christy Stratton. She gets it out in front. Does really well. Dodges her opponent. Pops it on the left, but it's going to be intercepted by the Falcons' defence.
And they'll take this opportunity to try and calm things down. So getting going up the wing. Oh dear. Garner just read that easy. It was almost a gift to it. Nick Garner with the footy between centre wing and the half-forward flank broadcast side. Elects to go backwards. Managing to spot up Ainsley Kemp. Kemp now swings it around towards between centre and centre half back by Hey It's Saturday. And it's taken away by Kristen Hay, and she gets it out towards the wing position. This is running with McRae, now going inside 50 with the kick. One bounce, awkward bounce there over the head of Sarah Cameron. And the ball will go over and out. We'll call for a throw-in. We're around about 35 metres around from that right-hand point post. We get some thoughts on the dock.
Well, that was just quality ball movement again from the Hawks. They're just trying to switch up the play, try and open up the defensive wall that Darebin have set up. It's almost looking like a bit of a training drill at the moment, Lucy.
Certainly is as the ball comes back into play. Sean lost her footing. Callanan wrapped up. McRae involved as well for the Hawks. So a ball up 45 metres from the Hawks' goal. They're once again dominating that time in forward half. The Hawks early in this second term. Shannon. She's in dispute. Sean will get there first for the Falcons. Just lost her footing, and now Hay works it towards the forward pocket. It's going to bounce over the line for a last touch, out of bounds free kick. It's going to go the way of Ashley Gunn of the Falcons, and she'll take it pretty much where the 50 intersects with the boundary on the far side of the ground.
She goes short and finds Nicole Callanan. Of course, a former Western Bulldogs AFLW Premiership footballer, was nicknamed Mum by her teammates. As she goes up the line looking for Millie Sean, went through her hands. Calling for it here, if she can run onto it, is Mills. beaten out towards it. Hawks ball, and they'll send it back from whence it came. Up, and almost one in the back. The umpire said, no, it's not paid. You can play on. Trying to run there is Beraldson. Goes inside 50. There was a big fly there by Cameron. Couldn't get onto it. Stratton, if she could have turned around, she might have had 4, but she dropped the pill. Umpire says she didn't have possession. You got to play on. Bolding is there as well. Lurking on the outside, McKay to try and stop it.
No.
Stratton, just goalkeeping on the last line of defence. Somehow, the Darebin Falcons come out of it. Gogos is chasing after the football. Beraldson going with her. Gogos like a wheel clamp. Scotter dropped it. No free kick. Don't know why. Now it was taken away by the Falcons, thanks to all that hard work there by Gogos. The ball is at the half-back flank. They try to get themselves out of that traffic jam. A high kick was trying to find Western Sirit, but it ended up being a Hawks ball, and they come inboard, and that's where they find Camilleri.
So one of the debutants of today, Camilleri. She's going to go towards McRae on the edge of the square. Another contested mark by Grace McRae. So attacking side of the centre square, just on the edge. McRae goes off her line, wants to send it inside 50 to Stratton. Couldn't take the contested mark. Now Carbone, tackle on Lynch. Cleared by Gogos into the centre square, 2-on-1. Be won by Von Berto. She was tackled strongly by Cowley Duparquet. And the umpire will reward her for the tackle. So, he's got the ball, defensive side of the centre square. Looking for an option as the Falcons work back. It was kicked off by Williams, who just went off the ground. And now it's going towards Amy Wheeland at half-back.
Good gather.
Good gather. Runs along the line of the centre square and finds Dom Carbone. Attacking side of the broadcast wing. She's just looking for an option. Plays on. Sends it inside 50. Mark not taken by Cameron.
It's a horrible kick because Darebin had 2 spare behind the footy there, and that was one of them.
And they decided to go inboard, trying to make a contest of it as McLinden brought it to ground. 2 Darebin players there. One of them's asking for a free kick, and the umpire says, I'm paying anything. And the Hawks will send it back from whence it came. 3 Darebin players there. Lynch managed to get it off the drop and then kicked it back in towards the centre square as it came off hands. Picking it up off the carpet is Garner. Garner went with a hand pass, managing to find McLinden again. McLinden immediately smothered off the boot by Cullinan. Ball hit the deck. Everyone's going to pile on. Umpire is circling like a sheepdog. Will blow the whistle and says, hey, bring the ball to me. And we'll call for a ball up. Let's go down to John O'Ven on the boundary.
Just a quick one in regards to Darebin. I've just noticed that Alice Caddy has spent a significant part of this quarter on the bench. She's had her left shoulder strapped. I'll have more to say if need be.
Thank you very much to John O'Ven doing fine work there on the boundary line as Gogos tried to slap it along the carpet, went back in for a second effort. Shannon wraps her up immediately and the umpire says, I'll ask for the football back. Hawthorn 4-4-28. Darebin no score. If you're listening to us on WARFradio.com, you can watch the YouTube stream now. We've just tweeted it via our Wharf Radio Twitter account. Please do share the link because they accidentally left it on private link as the ball is now on the ground. Just going over the top of it there momentarily was Mifsud. Couldn't hold into it. And the umpire said, there's a wrestle going on for the pill here. Gogos one of them over the top. And Millie Shon will get off for the bottom of the deck and give the ball back to the umpire. We'll restart it actually very quickly. Lynch tried to go up there. Perrott as well. Brought down to ground, Beraldson. And the umpire says, you're holding the football. Free kick going the way of the Falcons. And Nicole Cullinan.
So it's the 2 leading disposal getters on the ground. Nicole Cullinan, 11 disposals so far. Amy Whelan, the tackle E there. She's on 9 disposals for the Hawks. Cullinan's kick finds Trinity Mills at centre wing on this broadcast side, and then it's going to be 50. I think Hay just stepped off the mark there. So Trinity Mills has taken off, and she's brought it inside 50 for the Falcons. She's going to play on quickly. Works it into the centre, into the goal square, gets out the back. They just couldn't get boot to ball. Could the player in Macaloon. So it's Darebin's first score of the game. It's a behind. 9 minutes to go. Alex Doherty.
It was the right option by Trinity Mills. Kick, get the ball moving as quick as you can. It was a one-on-one opportunity. Just a bit unlucky to not get on the end of the goal.
Long kick out of the fence is going to be intercepted, and Cowley Duparquet takes it for the Darebin Falcons. Duparquet looking forward for some options. She is 60 metres out from home. Not much happening at the moment. No solid leads for her, so she's just going to have to bomb long and hope for the best at 35 metres out from goal, looking for Lynch. Went over her head. Steph Simpson putting on the pressure. She immediately goes to ground. She got warmed by a cheap suit. Now Kemp came over the top and got the football out. Kemp kicked it towards the opposite half-back flank. Now it's a Darebin Falcons ball. Here's the intercept. Goes towards the pocket. And the ball goes one bouncing over the boundary line and out of bounds, allowing the Falcons to reset play. 27-point lead to the Hawks. Here's the Doc.
Well, the thing I've been impressed with Darebin at the moment is their contested work around the ground. They've levelled up the clearance count already 6-all. So they've won most of their clearances this quarter, and their pressure, their contested work, it's raised up a level this quarter.
So Buckley wrapped up immediately by Misford, Lynch as well over the top for the Falcons. About 35 metres from their goal. Let's go down to John O'Van on the boundary.
Just got an update from Darebin. Alice Caddy likely out for the rest of the game.
So Alice Caddy, shoulder injury will keep her out of this contest. So Darebin, 27 points down. Now also a player down as the Hawks try to work it up the outer wing. Bit of volleyball ends up into the hands of Humphreys. She goes low and hard. Boulding, Carbone were there, but it's the Falcons who'll win out. They're going to go backwards to Callanan, who marks inside her own defensive 50. Goes for a run, takes a bounce. Now on the edge of the square, is going wide. Kick doesn't come off. That was looking for Mackay. Intercepted by the Hawks through Shannon on centre wing. Kick looking for Garner. Double-fisted away by Callanan. Back into the hands of Shannon, who finds Williams. She'll send it inside 50. So running for it now is Francis. For the Hawks, Shannon in there as well. Mackay just goes backwards to go forwards for the Falcons. His gun traps it at her feet, leaves it for Hazlitt, who's pushed off the ball by Williams in front of the Darebin interchange. Kemp now, and umpire's called a throw. So a free kick going the way of Ashley Gunn, defensive side of the broadcast wing.
And she thought about going short to Lynch, thought better of it though, has another short option on, and Steph Simpson. So, Steph Simpson, the Darebin captain, holds the footy. Defensive side of centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. Now goes to Millie Sean, a little bit of zigzag at the moment. Hawthorn 4-4-28, Darebin one behind. 6.5 minutes remaining in this first term as she goes long up the line, but it was read too easily by Eliza Shannon. And she wants to go backwards with the kick, and they're going to do the old swing around. And this time, Vomberto goes for a run. Kicks it long and high towards the centre of the ground. She was trying to find Francisi, but it fell short of her. And it's a Darebin intercept taken by McNeese. McNeese coughed the football up a little too easily on that occasion. And the Hawks now have it at centre half back through Ainsley Camp. Camp now going to Garner on the broadcast side half-back flank. Garner with the footy. Her side up by 27 points. Elects to pass down the line, too much juice on the kick. Waiting out the back and taking a mark is Victoria Blackwood. Blackwood on the right boot, has Steph Simpson on. Just a little too high for her, went through her hands. Simpson had to have another crack at it, and she was going at it with Garner. Ball on the ground, trying to get in there is Camilleri. Camilleri did some good groundwork. Got it to Zagetti, but it got immediately kicked, smothered off her boot. Going in there was Gogos. Umpire pulled out a free kick and said it's going the way of the Hawks, and it's going to end up in the hands of the number 34 in Dom Carbone.
So Carbone does what we've seen Hawthorn do quite a few times today, goes back, switches the ball to McLinden, who's going to work it to the outer side to Kristen Hay. She's going to go further up that wing and find Humphreys, who's got time and space to run. So Humphreys, Callie Duparquet in pursuit, won't get there as Humphreys sends it inside 50. Out the back, Burlston marks it 45 metres from goal. Handball to Zagetti, missed the target. Plunkett applying the pressure for the Falcons in the forward pocket. Burlston tries to get it back. Kicked away by Buckley. Won't go very far. Into the hands of Camilleri, who sends it to the hot spot. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. Carbone is lurking, as is Sean. Garner now. Handball back, was looking for Cox. Missed her. Cox at centre half forward. Ran away from a few defenders, got the ball to the pocket, but it's all Falcons. Paige Kearney, the defender that collected that one. She's wrapped it up in the right forward pocket to get a stoppage inside the Hawks attacking 50. Just the one goal to Christy Stratton this quarter. Hawthorn 4-4-28, Darebin 1 behind. 4 minutes to go as the umpire calls for a ball in that right forward pocket.
And putting the hand up to nominate for the ruck, Sarah Cameron. And she'll be going against Sally Lynch in this contest. He'll be thrown in 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. Went through several sets of hands. Quick little pick up and dish off hand pass using the agency of Plunkett, and they ran immediately into trouble. And the umpire says we'll reset play and we'll get some thoughts from the doc.
Well, Darebin have done really, really well the past 10 minutes in trying to stem how Hawthorn want to try and move the ball. We've seen it time and time again this half. Hawthorn are trying to open up the ground, look at the switch, but Darebin are forcing them to sort of squeeze up and sort of play on one side of the ground.
Going in there hard is Emma Humphreys, and while we say Emma Humphreys, a big shout out to Callie Humphreys, who's watching at the moment on the YouTube stream. And the Hawks side up 4-4-28 to Darebin, just the one behind here in the second term. Ball came out to Caitlin Cox, couldn't quite juggle it, pardon me. Coming through there was Victoria Blackwood, who dropped the football. Trying to go back in again is Cox, got the hand pass out to Humphreys. Humphreys ran into trouble though. Callie Dupaquet got her, and the umpire says that is prior opportunity because you bounced off one player and went into the second, and that is a free kick to the Darebin Falcons.
So the Falcons work it to Sean. So Sean on the defensive side of this broadcast wing, just asking for her teammates to come towards her, takes a run, and the kick off the side of the boot will be out of bounds on the full. So Ainsley Kemp will take that football. I'm not sure she was the closest player, but it'll work for the Hawks.
I can understand because she's your teammate at Melbourne Uni, so she's probably seen you, Lucy, and gone, yep, we're going to pass to Watto.
Yeah, we're going to pass to me up here in the commentary box. Another great passage of ball movement here from the Hawks. They work it into the middle of the ground to McClendon, who works it wide to Hay. Hay on the edge of the centre square on the far side of the ground. Was looking for Carbone. It went over her head. Garner now in pursuit. Hay now has to work back defensively against McAloon, who just goes off the ground. Dribbles the ball inside 50. It's going to be Hay who gets there first. It's a 2-on-1, and the Hawks will win out here. Hay gets the handball to Wheeland. Gets it back. Goes towards Boulding over her head. McNeese for the Falcons. She'll get the football, but good work by Boulding to just hold her up and send a wing on the outer side of the ground. So 1 minute, 45 seconds to go. Darebin one behind this quarter, and Hawthorn at the one goal. They lead by 27 points.
Perrott beats out Lynch in the contest. Going to ground there and trying to get the hand pass out is Hazlitt. Ball popped out. Manly brought to ground and trying to get in there was Whelan for Hawthorn. Hand pass over the back of the head, trying to find Cox, close towards the boundary line. And it's actually a lasso free kick because it was a handball. Even though it didn't hit anyone, it counts as a disposal. So what can Darebin do with this with just over a minute remaining before the half-time siren? Goes long with the kick. Good punch put in there by Weston Stirrett. Manages to see the ball dribble inside their 50, but Hawks do have numbers back there, including Kemp, who goes with a dangerous kick towards the hot spot. Here comes Millie Sean. That's gone every day of the week. No, not paid. Millie Sean gets the ball anyway, says, touched on the line. I tell you what, you don't have to be dead to be stiff. And Callie Dupaquet will get a minus score. Darebin 2 behind. Hawthorn 4-4-28. What are we talking about umpiring during our pre-game show?
Yeah, look, they haven't listened to us, Pete, because that's a holding the ball every day of the week. Literally dropped the thing.
Millie Sean, another one of my teammates at Melbourne Uni, actually. So good to see her with that tackle pressure inside attacking 50 Hawks. Chain of handballs ends with Von Berto. On the far side, the defensive wing. Goes centre wing. Strong mark taken by Carbone, who wants to play on quickly. Sends it in the middle of the ground to McRae. Just has the presence of mind to hold up the football and gets it to Camilleri. She dodged her opponent to send it inside 50 for the Hawks, looking for Stratton. It's going to get out the back. What can the Hawks do here? Williams turns, puts it on the right boot, and it's not going to make the distance. As we get the siren for half-time, Darebin 2 behinds that quarter. They're only 2 scores for the game, and the Hawks with the 1 goal through Christy Stratton. 4-4-28 leads 0-2. Half-time here at Latrobe University.
And I just want to do a quick little shout out as well. Since you mentioned Millie Sean being a teammate out at Melbourne University, we should mention this is the first time we've had Lucy Walken on air since last year. Congratulations on the captaincy honours on the 2021 VAFA Premier B Team of the Year.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a bit of it was definitely a surprise, not a bit of a surprise. It was a surprise, but it was nice to see myself and a few other of my teammates be rewarded for a really good season in that Team of the Year.
The legendary Watto Waddle, as you used to call it.
The Watkin Waddle. They still legs. They still got it, you know?
No, sincerely, congratulations on those honours. But back to this game, Alex Doherty, Darebin, they're showing us something that the scoreboard's not showing it.
Yeah, look, it's been great. It's been great effort all round by the Falcons with their contested work. I think they really outdid the Hawks in the clearances that quarter. I think they only had 1 in the first quarter. I think they ended up having 6 in the second. But I think you look at how they're trying to move the ball forward. The reason why they're only 2 behind is that they've tried to really push everyone into the defensive half, and there's not enough leg speed to get back on the other end. The only reason that the first point I think they got was because of a 50-metre penalty. That was the only time that's probably one of the rare times they got in the forward half. And then the second time they were trying to take the game on, and that's what you want to see. And I think for me, it's the only reason I can see Darebin ever getting back into this game is that they just take the game on. You can see that they're trying to play the one-on-one footy, and they're trying to back their players in to win the one-on-one contests. And around the ground, it's been good, but forward of the ball, I just can't see the leg speed that's going to carry them back into this game.
It's not like the Essendon, which we've seen the last couple of weeks, who've got the leg speed, who just bolt numbers back there. Darebin, you watch, you can only maybe get 1 or 2 back at best.
Yeah, that's right, and you can see at Hawthorn as well that they've got the speed, and I think they've got a bit of fitness in them that allows them to get a couple of players pushed back and try and get themselves out of that defensive 50 with such ease.
Let's go down boundary side with Jono Venn. Jono, just again that injury update, and I'm just seeing a number of Darebin players already wearing the wet towels over their head.
Yeah, indeed. I tell you what, the weather conditions are very hard to predict and even understand here. Here at Latrobe, it's a bit cooler now, and for some reason, it's gone up by 1 degree. Can you believe that? Doesn't quite make sense.
I can believe it because we're in Melbourne, mate. 4 seasons in a day, isn't it?
We're still yet to have, 3? So that's what. So we've got 1.
Wait for the hailstones; they'll be juice. Yeah. They'll come from out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'll give it half an hour.
There's actually a grey patch down there. It's hardly significant, but nevertheless it is there. Who knows? I put it beyond these Melbourne weather conditions.
Thank you very much to Jono Venn down there on the boundary line. Alex Doherty, what do the goal kickers look like at the moment at half-time?
Well, we know that Christy Stratton from the Hawks has kicked 3 of their goals so far, and Jesse Williams, the other goal kicker for the Hawks. And as for Darebin, well, no goal kickers at the moment. They're 0 and 2.
Yep, that's what the score reads at half-time. Hawthorn 4-4-28. Darebin 2 behind here on WARFradio.com. By the way, if you have found our YouTube stream, which we tweeted via our Wharf Radio Twitter account at WARF Radio, please share that link as much as you can. Those at the AFL House who look after the stream accidentally left it on private link. So please, if you do see that link, share it on your social medias as far as you can so more and more people can obviously enjoy this game between Hawthorn and Darebin, because we know a lot of people, a lot of family and friends out there want to watch their players running around. Hawthorn 4-4-28. Darebin 2 behind. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
If you're after the most comprehensive coverage on women's football across Australia, then look no further than Rookie Me Central. Formerly Draft Central, Rookie Me Central has news and reviews, podcasts, videos, and much, much more on all the state leagues across the country, including the VFL Women's and NAB League Girls. Find out why everyone turns to Rookie Me Central for their women's football content. Follow Rookie Me Central on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at Rookie Me Central.
No business wants to throw money away. But did you know sending resources to landfill can be more expensive than recycling them? Planet Ark's free business recycling service can kickstart your workplace recycling journey, help you find the right recycling solutions and give you a competitive edge. Join the 1 million Australians using business recycling to keep valuable resources in circulation. Visit businessrecycling.com.au. It's just good business.
Oh, hi, I'm Maria from Sesame Street.
And Elmo's Elmo.
And we're here to talk about driveways. Driveways can be dangerous for children.
Or little red monsters.
So it's important for parents to always watch their children around them.
Yeah, driveways are for cars, not for play.
That's right, Elmo. Play only in safe places away from driveways because people in cars may not see you.
Elmo sees you, Maria. Tag, you're in.
Oh, here I come, Elmo. Remember, driveways are like roads. Always supervise, separate, and see. Learn more at kidsafevic.com.au.
How often should you wash your hands?
Maybe around 9 times a day. 4?
Like 20?
Maybe twice a day.
Whenever they feel dirty. When should you wash your hands?
After you touch some raw meat and before starting to eat. At the beginning, I wash my hands before preparing food.
How would you rate your knowledge of food safety?
Probably like an 8 out of 10. 6 or 7.
7.5? Learn more at foodsafety.asn.au/food safety training. Food safety, it's in your hands. Hey.
Hi.
Yo, what's up? We're here for RAD. Here's a simple word of advice.
Don't drink and drive.
If you plan to drink, plan ahead.
Give up the keys.
Either drink or drive. Don't mess around trying to do both.
When you drink and drive, you're risking the life of yourself and the lives of everybody on the road.
It takes a lot of courage to convince a friend not to drive after they've been drinking, but you might just be saving their life.
So if you plan to drink, plan not to drive.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
Been playing for a while, sweet kicks, 'cause footy makes you smile, sweet kicks football. If you're getting ready for the trials, gotta go the extra mile, sweet kicks football.
Not always hearing that sweet sound when you kick the ball? Need to develop your footwork or explosive speed? Want to take the next step in your footy career? Then you need Sweet Kicks. More info on our Facebook page or go to our website, sweetkicksfootballacademy.com.au.
Gotta go the extra mile, Sweet Kicks football.
Even when everything is going great, the black dog of depression can sneak up on you. You're not alone. 1 in 7 Australians are feeling just like you. But there is hope available. The Black Dog Institute provides information on diagnosis, treatment and prevention of mental illnesses like depression, bipolar disorder and anxiety. If the black dog is hounding you, visit blackdoginstitute.org.au for real help and support. Black Dog Institute, putting health in mind.
Storms are Australia's most costly natural disaster. Getting prepared now is the best way to protect people and to minimise damage to your property. Keep your gutters, downpipes and drains clear and stash any loose items in yards or on balconies. Trim any trees and branches hanging too close to your house and keep your roof in good repair. For emergency help, call the SES on 132 500.
Stroke can happen to anybody at any age. The best way to help someone is to learn the signs of stroke and know how to act fast. F is for face. Has their face drooped? A is for arms. Can they lift both arms? S is for speech. Is their speech slurred? Do they understand you? T is for time. Call 000. Time is critical. If you see any of these symptoms, act fast. Learn the signs of stroke and you could save a life. Go to strokefoundation.org.au/fast to find out more.
G'day, I'm Michael Caton. The Australian Conservation Foundation's Green Home program is all about saving our environment. A low-flow shower head will save 10 litres. No showering at all will save 20. So when any of my actor friends are a bit on the nose, I never judge them, but thank them for doing their bit to save water.
For more information, go to www.acfonline.org.au/greenhome and take action for our future generations. That's acfonline.org.au/greenhome.
What do you listen to while you're waiting for the next VFLW game on Wharf Radio? Do you long for the days when radio stations played music that you knew without being constantly bombarded with ads and by announcers who want to make it about themselves and not about the music? Welcome to GoRadio.live. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing the very best music of the past 70 years. You can listen at www.goradio.live, or better still, download the free GoRadio.live app for your Apple or Android device. GoRadio.live. It's radio as it should be.
It's women's Aussie rules. They're doing what they love. They're fast, they're tough. Don't mess with them because they can get rough. Are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready for the match? It's the call of the game. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Live from Tony Sheehan Oval, Latrobe University, Bundoora. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day on WARFradio.com. 89.1 FM at the ground, delay free in case you brought your little radio with you, and also via the YouTube stream on the VFLW YouTube channel. It's Darebin 2 behinds, trailing Hawthorn 4-4-28 at halftime. Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin, Alex Doherty and John O'Ven with you. And just a little heads up as well, we've got coming up at 1 p.m, hopefully on the VFLW YouTube channel, we've sent the WARF Radio B team, B standing for Brent. We've sent Brent Sternberg along with Elise Collette to Casey Fields for Casey v North Melbourne. Lads, can the Casey Demons roll on to 3 and zip, or can North break through for a win?
Oh yeah, I think they can. The way Casey are going at the moment, I think there's every signs point to a third win this season for them. I think they've just been able to just coast through these games and just exert their dominance, use the depth of their AFLW team as well to get themselves the wins on the board early.
They've beaten, or they had a struggle against a not-so-strong Port side. They took care of business against Darebin here. North, I wonder, North got smashed by Hawthorn first up, but then North put in a good fight against Collingwood last week, and the saving grace for the day for Collingwood was Sabrina Frederick with 4 goals.
Yeah, well, look, I've said my penance about Sabrina Frederick individually over the course of the season, over the course of the last couple of years personally, but I think, look, North. I look at North, and I think they're a very a team that's still trying to build themselves up as a VFLW standalone side.
Going back to Casey, I'm definitely with you, Alex, on them going 3 and zip, and I'm very happy with what Ali Dowler's doing. The new Casey recruit coming from a wonderful team from Mulgrave. You might have heard of them, the Eastern Devils.
They have a wonderful bar there, just quietly.
It's actually currently non-existent, Pete.
What? I want to see the president about this.
There's actually, well, you can chat to Foxy if you want, but she'll tell you the whole place is under construction.
Fair enough.
Yes, but yeah, hopefully it'll be back soon. Unfortunately, nothing's been done during the lockdown period.
And just quickly before we let you back downstairs, the injury to report from Darebin for those that have just joined us.
Yes, so if you've just joined us, Alice Caddy will likely take no further part in the game. She's had her left shoulder strapped and spent a considerable amount of the second quarter on the bench as a result, and looking to probably miss out the rest of the game as well as the third quarter approaches.
Thank you, John O'Van. And we might bring in very shortly Lucy Watkin, because we actually will have a question for her about AFLW and expansion, because Sam Virgo is watching online. You may know her from previously playing in the AFLW with the Lions and the Suns. Of course, she also played down at Yeronga, South Brisbane in the QWAFL. And Sam was watching, and she was wondering about the expansion rules. I mean, what are clubs are allowed to sign?
Well, I don't know if they've been explicitly written out yet, but I think in the 2019-2020 when we had those rules, there were like things for a certain number of players that you could sign from different clubs, and I think, as Sam would probably know from being involved in that expansion with the Suns and the Lions, teams were told that you're going to lose probably X amount of players and stuff like that. But I don't think there has been rules sort of put out yet.
The one that I did read, and this I think was about a year ago, and they may have tweaked it and changed it all over again, was I heard they could sign up to 11 players for each of the expansion teams.
Yeah.
But they didn't say specifically a cap on what club, like the previous rules, which was 4 from a club that you could raid. So it got told there was 11. And obviously you could sign senior listed players. So, for example, senior listed VFLW players who have already nominated for the draft and not been picked up. can be signed.
Yep.
So that's another thing to bring into the pool. And then obviously they've got their own little zones as well, like Hawthorn did with the Eastern Rangers, and they can pick out of. And then obviously we know with the draft rules at the moment that Hawthorn, Essendon, Port Adelaide, Sydney will all get their first 2 picks at the front of the draft with the order to be determined.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think we'll know more about the rules as we go along. Look, I think back to the expansion, a couple of years ago with when Gold Coast and West Coast came into the side, and they poached probably about a third of their the rival list. So and as well, Sam would probably know that as well. But I think, look, I think in terms of the draft order, I think we'll find out more as we get more signings. I think we've seen Richmond nab Monconti and Katie Brennan, and they had to give up their number 1 pick as a result of that. And I think you look at North Melbourne, they rated Collingwood, the Dogs, and even Brisbane up north. And I don't think they had a first round pick
no, yeah. I think it was the 20s they had their
I think their first pick would have been well into the second.
I know Starcevic was filthy on North because Starcevic expected to lose players to the forthcoming Gold Coast expansion. He wasn't expecting to lose players down to Victoria, and he's going, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, look, I would have been filthy about that as well.
But then you also see sort of where those rules have also disadvantaged clubs like St Kilda, who definitely they couldn't reel in that big name to the club, and then they were almost punished for it in the draft.
Yeah,
in that first year.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, they obviously had Patricios with that first pick, and that was a really good pick as well. But then
no one could have foresaw what was going to happen with that.
Yeah, look, hindsight's a beautiful thing, of course. But you look at their next pick. I don't think they had a pick until the 20s. I think they had traded away. I think some of their they had a first round pick. They traded away to the Doggies for Emma Mackey, and she didn't exactly. I think she played a couple of games. That was it.
And just quickly before we get underway, isn't it funny? Brisbane got rated, angry about it, but they're actually the reigning premiers.
Yep.
Just imagine how much stronger they could be. Here's Lucy Watkin.
So second half underway here at La Trobe University. Hawks leading by 26 points. Angelica Gogos at the bottom of the pack from the ball up. So have another ball up to start the second half. Callanan, the leading disposal getter on the ground, hands the ball back to the umpire. Lynch got that one away, missed it, squeezed out a handball to Gogos. Kick came off the side of the boot, now Humphreys. Handball over the top to her ruck in Perrott, who goes wide again to Garner. Garner goes for a run, low bullet pass, passes all of her options inside 50. Francis put a tackle on that meant the disposal didn't get away very far from the Falcons' defence. And we'll have a ball up 40 metres directly in front of the Hawks' goal. Going to the right of your screen to start the second half. So down to Buckley. Clears defensive 50 for the Falcons. Weston Serrett waiting for it. Couldn't get possession. McClendon grabbed it. And she was wrapped up immediately by McAloon on the edge of the centre square on the far side of the ground for a ball up.
You're on WARFradio.com, your home of women's footy, and delay-free at the ground on 89.1 FM if you bring your radio to the ground to be able to listen to our call. Taken away by Beroldzen, who goes towards the centre-half forward position with a bit of a grubber of a kick that's along the ground, trying to jump in over the top wheel, and the umpire's going to blow the whistle and say, I'll take the football back, please. In fact, it was Francisi, pardon me, and we'll restart play. 48 metres out from goal. Umpire just checking behind him that there's no one there so he can back out safely. Throws it up in the air again. One out by Sally Lynch. Went to open space. Now dribbles in towards the middle of the ground. Perrott with an awkward little hand pass over the top. Oh, that's a one-handed there by Beroldzen. The umpire said, yep, that's a throw. And that is a free kick going the way of the Darebin Falcons. And it's going to end up with a Cole Cullinan. Won 7 premierships, 5 of the VFLW and VWFL with Darebin, 1 at Melton Centrals, and of course 1 with the Bulldogs in the AFLW. Her kick though is going to be sent back from whence it came. It got out towards the wing position, now picked up by Nick Garner. Garner going for a run. Using Cox now, getting across to Vomberto. Vomberto teaming up beautifully here. The Hawks will move it inside 50, looking for Stratton. Just got knocked away from her hands at the crucial moment by Lawson Tavern. In goes Sally Lynch. Fighting in for it is Stratton, and the umpire says it's going nowhere. And we'll call for a ball up, and we'll get some thoughts from Alex Doherty.
Well, that was a good passage of play there by the Hawks. They're linking up really, really well. I've liked their start to the game. Darebin, I think we touched on it before the halftime break, Peter. I think they've got to try and play stoppage footy, try and move the ball up as a unit and cause a stoppage, because they're not going to run Hawthorn off their legs here.
So Lynch rewarded a free kick for a throw out of the congestion. Works it to that outer side. Goes through the hands, the defender, Kearney. Now Garner for the Hawks. Goes inboard. It's all Falcons. Ends up with Gunn. Gets a handball to Gogos. Gogos goes wide, looking for Weston Serrett, who does mark. Just on the defensive side of the outer wing. Has a player in Simpson coming towards her. Knocked off by Whelan. Kick away by Mifsud towards centre half forward. Handball goes inside to Cameron. Wheels around her opponent. Puts it on her right boot. Williams is underneath it. Just goes through her fingers. Gogos. She collects it on the bounce. And she was wrapped up by Williams. So a ball up 45 metres directly in front of the Hawks' goal. Darebin yet to really enter their forward half of the ground. From the stoppage, Cameron, handball back to Mifsud, gets through traffic, kicks towards Stratton, brings it to ground. Francisi just couldn't collect the crumbs, but stopped the Falcons defender in her tracks, and will have another ball up 20 metres from the Hawks' goal.
Umpire clears the way and throws the ball high in the air, and away we go again. Went past several players. Lynch tried to body work onto the ball, couldn't do so. Trying to tunnel ball it out there is Mifsud. Hurry kick around the corner by Whelan towards the top of the square. Stratton came charging out towards it. Couldn't get onto it. McNeese was there for Darebin. Hurried squeezed hand pass out. Cullen there now on the left boot. The Falcons come towards the half-back flank. No one really on here. And guess who's going to get to the football? It's the one and only Emma Humphreys. Draws the player towards her. Gets the hand pass to Kemp. Kemp unloads. Goes towards the top of the goal square and taking a mark 20 metres out. Reading the ball beautifully, because it was a slight hook at the end from the breeze, is one Jessie Williams will be looking for her second of the day. Here's some thoughts from Alex Doherty.
Well, the press that Hawthorn are setting up behind the ball here is just absolutely brilliant. Emma Humphreys had the time, the space to just assess the option and pick out a space for the forward to lead into. It was great footy.
Jessie Williams very close to the player on the mark, but it's effective. It's through the middle. Hawthorn now moved to 5-4-34. Darebin 2 behind as we've gone 5 minutes into this third term here at La Trobe University in Bundoora. Once again, let's hear from John O'Ven down on the boundary.
Skies seem to have opened up just a little bit more, and I think we'll have probably this heat, so definite 24, maybe even higher heat for the rest of the day. It's very humid at 56%. Yeah, so these conditions are pretty much likely to stick around. It's hot and nasty down here.
To the dock.
Yeah, look, I think we've got to see Darebin try and take the game on a little bit more through the centre bounce here. We've mentioned their clearance ability in the second quarter. I've really appreciated the work of Gogos and Callanan, but they've got to try and find that next level, find some poise, find some class with the ball.
So Jessie Williams' fourth goal of the season takes Hawthorn to a lead of 32 points as Shannon works it out of the stoppage into the path of Belrudson. She's corralled by Cowley Duparquet, but still gets the kick away to Garner. Second leading possession getter for the Hawks, as Camilleri was pushed as she kicked it. So there'll be a free kick downfield to Sophie Boulding.
Just quickly around the grounds, Geelong 3-6-24. Lead Port Melbourne, no score. 5 minutes gone, third term.
So Boulding gets the handball back to Garner, her 17th disposal. Works it inside 50 to Stratton. Good punch from behind came from Blackwood as Zaghetti was wrapped up immediately. Oh, umpires actually called this one a push in the back. So Hazlitt gave away the free kick to Zaghetti. She's 65. It's 55 from goal, I should say. Garner, her kick was low and darting, but just found the chest of McNeese.
McNeese with a footy, waits patiently for an option. And I'm not exactly sure what option she was looking for. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. She had Weston steer it on, she had Lawson's have it on and found absolutely none of them. And the ball dribbled over the boundary line and out of bounds. The Hawthorn player is actually asking, saying in Francisi, going, can I get a deliberate here? And the umpire says, no, it wasn't deliberate. It was just fluffed.
Yeah, no, it was just poor decision and poor execution there. So I'm not look, it doesn't hurt to appeal and ask the question, but geez.
As the ball is thrown back into play, punched, hit the ground, trying to get on the end of it is Boulding. She does on the left boot with a little Texas wedge kick. Works out okay. Just went the required minimum distance. And taking a mark 25 metres out directly in front is Jessie Williams. She'll be looking to try and catch up to Christy Stratton, who's got 3. She'll equal it if she kicks this one. Her side currently up by 32 points. 8 minutes gone, third term. Williams, again, close to the player on the mark. Hello, Wilbur. It's a Wilbur post. Hawthorn 5-5-35. Darebin 2 behinds here in the third term.
It looks like the Hawks have been very, very good with their vision inside 50 this quarter. It's not looking pretty here for the Falcons.
So McNeese kicks it over the head of her teammate, this time Whelan into the centre square, over the head of Cameron. Ball's on the ground. McNeese sees it over the boundary line. Boulding is trying to get deliberate, but the umpire says we'll throw it in. So about 10 metres around from that left point post on the far side of La Trobe University. Umpire's just instructing the rucks where to contest this ball in. So Cameron, Western Serret, no one gets a hand on it, so it gets out the back. Revolt was dispossessed. Cox tried to go off the ground, didn't go very far, but it got to Zaghetti, who got it to Boulding. Left foot snap, dribbles towards the goals. McNeese, she dribbled a kick away as well to Zaghetti, who got a don't argue and a high up and under. Was raffled by a few players. Had to be collected on the bounce. Still in dispute, about 40 metres from the Hawks' goal. Zaghetti just runs through traffic. The kick towards goal. Cameron almost took the mark again. That's another behind to the Hawks. So 5-6-36 to Darebin, 2 behinds. 10 minutes gone in this third quarter.
They've just completely dominated this third quarter, Hawthorn. They're just trying to find answers. Just trying to find answers here to get out of here, Darebin. They just can't execute the right options.
Jenna Lawson Tavern in the back pocket on the northern side of the ground. Hesitates and now goes with a little chip kick. Works out okay. Finds her teammate. And it looks like, I think it might be Lynch out there, who now goes up the line, only for it to be intercepted. Taking the mark here is Boulding for Hawthorn. Boulding just outside the paint, now runs inside the paint and goes with a short kick. Was looking for, trying to find Cameron, and was kicked out of there by Gogos. Went long, Perrott from behind, did the spoiling work. Just running through there. Barolson did well, gave up the hand pass. Now it's in the hands of Kemp. Kemp still going. Kemp delivers inside 50. 1-2. Now, whose hands did it hit first? I don't know, Doc. Williams claims it. I'm not sure if there were Darebin hands from behind first that just got that early touch.
Oh, usually you pay those to the player in front, Pete. And look, we can make the argument. Yeah, there was a hand on there, but geez, the umpire would have to have a magnifying glass to pick that out.
Williams runs at the player on the mark, sells the candy, can't quite finish off. It's out of date, and a minor score. Hawthorn 5-7-37. Darebin 2 behinds. We've got 9 minutes remaining here in the third term. And here is someone you read on afl.com.au and you hear on the Credit to the Girls podcast. It's Lucy Watkin.
Well, I'm just going to throw it to Alex Doherty now. You mentioned Darebin not being able to get it into their forward half. 34 inside 50s to 6 currently.
Yeah, geez. The Hawks have set themselves up beautifully here, and it's playing in. And Darebin's use of the ball is just playing into the zone defence that Hawthorn have set up here.
Zaghetti into the goal square. Carbone out the back.
Oh.
Another goal the way of the Hawks. So 6-7-43 leads 2 behinds. Hawthorn with that 41-point lead. And Alex, just to continue that conversation, 35 inside 50s to 6 now.
It might be the best thing for Darebin to just concede the goal, get it back in the middle, because they just can't find any answers getting out of that defensive 50. The Hawks, I don't know whether or not it's Hawthorn's zone defence that's playing into their favour, or if it's just Darebin just trying to look for any exit. They can't even get it out here on the defensive 50 on the boundary side. It's getting ugly.
Umpire just looking around and seeing who's standing where. Make sure everyone's in position before he'll get play underway again. Don't worry about the red light. We're not 7 or Fox footy. We can get going when we need to get going. 6-7-43 Hawthorn, 2 behind Darebin. Perrott put the ball to the ground. Watching on there is Hazlitt. And the umpire says it's going nowhere. It's all locked in. Call for the ball back. Thank you very much. On the bottom of that, Carly Dupaquet. And she goes again, takes immediately out of the ruck. She's caught by Cox. Ball hit the ground. Now comes out to be a Hawthorn ball. They had Garner waiting on the outside. They want to go to her, and that's what they're going to do. She's on centre wing. It sits well for her. Got a Darebin player just on her left shoulder. Manages to kick around the corner from her, but the intended target, Stratton, was caught behind in that case, and getting in front was Blackwood to take the mark. Victoria Blackwood from the half-back flank, broadcast side of the ground. Garner tries to park herself underneath it. Lynch was there as well. Taken away by Camilleri. She got it quickly off to Mifsud. Mifsud goes inside 50. One bite of the cherry. Cameron couldn't hold on to it. Got out to Shannon, though. Shannon from the pockets. Almost grazed the point post in the end after she was under immense pressure. Hawthorn 6-8-44. Darebin 2 behinds. Once again, here's the doc.
Look, it's... I don't know whether or not it's Darebin just tiring at the moment, but the Hawks are just running all over them at the moment. It's the clearances. The Hawks have just dominated them in this quarter. I think they're already +7 since half time.
So it gets worked towards Plunkett. Still deep inside defensive 50. The Falcons working it from that behind by Shannon that put Hawthorn 42 points up. Now Simpson. Looks towards the line, bounces in front of Weston Serrett, came off her boot as Francisi is pushed off the ball by McAloon. And it is going to be out of bounds on the full free kick. Came off the boot of Weston Serrett, and Nicole Garner will be the beneficiary of that one. So about 75 metres from goal on the boundary here on the broadcast side. Goes back to centre wing to Kemp. She's been a very good user of the ball so far today. Kemp, she runs around Steph Simpson. Handballs over the top to Mifsud. Misses her. Perrott, Whelan. They go for it, and Perrott just tries to paddle it to her own advantage. Ends up in the hands of Whelan, was pushed off the kick. Gets into the path of Sarah Cameron and Stratton. Cameron got the handball away. Stratton dodges traffic. Left foot snap. Just away to the right. So another behind for the Hawks. 6-8-44. Darebin 2 behinds. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Well, the thing that I'm noticing with Hawthorn at the moment is I think they're trying to get too Stratton-centric. They're trying to look for it at almost every inside 50 entry they get. And look, there's probably about 4 or 5 other options you can kick to at the moment. Just try and get everyone involved here.
And McKay takes the footy. Her kick, though, isn't all that great. And it puts it into a dispute as it's going to be picked up by Emma Humphreys off the half-forward flank for the Hawks. She delivers inside 50. Ball was just awkward there for Shannon trying to get onto. And the Falcons will clear it off their back line. Try to put in the McNeese direction here on the half-back flank on the broadcast side. Spinning around and around her opponent, and that was Garner who got off the hand pass to Mifsud. Mifsud popped it inside 50 to the hot spot. Came off hand. Stratton was lurking around if they can find her. Is that one dropped cold? The umpire says yes. Carbone is caught. And a free kick going the way of the Falcons, and they move it quickly, trying to put it in the path of Trinity Mills. Mills chasing after the football. Humphreys going with her, and the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll call for a throw-in. Hawthorn 6-9-45. Darebin 2 behind, under 4 minutes remaining in this third term. Just looking ahead for these two sides. Next week, Darebin play North Melbourne, the side they beat at Arden Street last year, and Hawthorn play the mining Rainer Premiers. The reigning minor premiers. Try to say that twice for getting your tongue twisted. Collingwood next week will be intriguing.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a massive clash, Hawthorn-Collingwood, and another game that Darebin can actually circle down as a potential win, because I'll look at their clearance work. Today has been all right in patches, but they're just the overall fitness base of Hawthorn. I think it's really coming into its own in this third quarter.
In these conditions, you've got to be fit to play out a game, and Hawthorn, they're doing that very, very well. As Angelique Rebolt for the Falcons marks in the middle of the ground. Garner made it hard for herself. Now Meyer off the ground. Just tries to work Kemp off the ball instead of going for the football inside 50. And the Hawks, too good again on that occasion. Clear it through Garner. Now Francisi just kicks it off the ground. Still at centre half forward. Gogos slapped away by Hay of the Hawks. Just can't pick up the football. Makes it a contest. 60 from the Falcons' goal. Spills out to Perrott. She gets it to Camilleri, who'll work it to Dom Carbone. Centre wing on the outside of the ground. Hawks just happy to hold it up with 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. Shannon, punch from behind was good by Lawson Tavern as the ball trickles to the boundary. And it's going to be a last touch out of bounds free kick that will go the way of Gina Lawson Tavern. Hands of Trinity Mills, and it's going to be a throw-in this time. So throw-in, attacking side of the 3 points, 2 minutes to go in the third.
Perrott versus Lynch in this contest, as the ball is thrown back into play over the head of both of them. And because it tapped the player who wasn't involved in the ruck in Camilleri, that means it's a free kick to the Falcons. And it ends up in the hands of Lynch. And Lynch goes up the line, only for it to be sent back from whence it came. Having the football there is Francisi. Got a hurried little hand pass away in heavy traffic. Now the kick up the line is very good. Hitting on the chest there, the player coming forward, and Sarah Cameron. Cameron now wants to go inside 50 with the kick. It's an awkward bouncing ball. Works out okay. Shepherding work put on by Shannon. Now they set it up towards the hot. Taken away by Emma Humphreys. The kick game flash. But in the end, maybe not bad. They get to reset the play. The ball is out of bounds, 10 metres around from the left-hand point post.
Maybe I think that she had probably a few more seconds there, Emma Humphreys, because that was just a rushed kick without thought. It probably could have taken another couple of seconds to really just try and balance herself out.
Take the grass, as my coach always says.
And that just quietly.
Zaghetti was wrapped up. I have a ball up 30 metres directly in front of Hawthorn's goal. Ticking down to 3/4 time. Lynch over the top. Mifsud came in to create another stoppage. So umpire is calling for those rucks. He'll go again. Mifsud slapped it away. Carbone coming through. Sean for the Falcons. Now Callanan, wrapped up again by Mifsud. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. About 45 from the Hawks goal. Can they conjure something on 3/4 time? So Dom Carbone contested the ruck. Boot to the square. Siren sounds.
Oh.
Shannon still went and kicked the goal, but it won't count. Hawthorn 6-9-45. Darebin 2 behinds. We had 2 goals from the Hawks that quarter. Jessie Williams is on 2. Dom Carbone has the 1. And Christy Stratton, she's got 3 for the day. Let's head down to the boundary to John O'Ven.
I was just watching the Darebin bench for a lot of that quarter. Saw Millie Shon just itching to get out there. She spent an extended break on the sidelines. Good to see she's back out there, though. She was absolutely itching to get back. I'll be in the Falcons huddle to see what Kate Tyndall has to say. I'll be back soon.
Looking forward to hearing what Kate Tyndall has to say after that quarter where Alex Darebin, they again struggled to get it inside forward 50.
Yeah, well, it's it's just a massive quarter from the Hawks. They just dominated clearances, dominated the possession of the play. Those inside 50s you counted earlier in that quarter. Dominance Hawthorn have had today.
Well, leading disposal getters, Nicole Garner, she's got 22. Amy Wheeland, also of the Hawks, and Lauren Zaghetti also with 15. As we mentioned, the goal kickers, Jessie Williams with 2, Dom Carbone with 1, and Christy Stratton with 3, as Hawthorn lead Darebin by 43 points at 3/4 time.
And just quickly, since you mentioned Amy Willen, what was one of her schoolmates? Julia Montesano. And that gives us a great plug for tomorrow, afl.com.au via the VFL app. Julia Montesano will be on the call for the Bulldogs and the Saints at Whitten Oval. For those that want to catch that VFLW match of the day, Julia Montesano on commentary, 9:45 a.m. tomorrow via afl.com.au/.
It can be really tough when you or a close family member has cancer. But if you're 12 to 25, Canteen's in your corner. Canteen provides whatever practical and emotional support you need, from connecting you with other young people who get what you're going through, to helping you develop new skills to cope, and just bringing back some fun into your world. So if cancer's messing with your life, check out canteen.org.au.
Hi, this is Missy Higgins for RAD, recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. I see a lot of things at gigs, mostly people having a good time and a few drinks. But what I'd hate to see is someone getting behind the wheel after they'd been drinking. Being even a little bit over the limit makes it too easy to lose control. A driver who won't drink. Remember, music lives and you should too.
We're at a party. 3 little kids were playing in the pool. Noticed a little one underwater. I think she needs help. That's how easily something can happen. It only takes a few seconds. Don't worry, the party had a happy ending. To swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive do.
VFLW game on Wharf Radio. Do you long for the days when radio stations played music that you knew without being constantly bombarded with ads and by announcers who want to make it about live? We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing the very best music. .goradio.live, or better still, download the free GoRadio.live app for your Apple or Android device. GoRadio.live. It's radio as it should be.
Indeed it is the VFL Women's Match of the Day here on WARFradio.com. 89.1 FM at the ground delay free and on the VFLW YouTube stream. Hawthorn 6-9-45 leading Darebin 2 behind to 3/4 time. You've got Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin, Alex Doherty and Jono Venn with you, and we just want to give a quick plug if you watch via the VFL and Elise Collette out there at Casey Fields if you want to catch that game. And tomorrow we've got 2 games for you as well. At 9 a.m. we kick off on air with the game between Collingwood and Williamstown, and then we're back at 1 p.m. for Carlton versus Essendon. Let's go down to John O'Van.
So I was just listening in to Kate Tyndall, as I said earlier, and she started off by simply saying, look, you're instilling pride in the jumper. Let's just be brave and go out this last term, putting in the 100%, 110% rather, that we have throughout this game.
Yeah, well, look, the way it's going at the moment, Hawthorn just running rampant around them. Currently inside 50 count, 40-7. So the Hawks have just dominated and had the ball inside their offensive half for, I would probably hazard a guess, about 75-80% of this match. So, and I think the Hawks, they were well on top of the clearances that quarter. We've seen Darebin try to play that stoppage football, trying to just move the ball up gradually from that half back, but it hasn't worked because the Hawks around the contest have just been absolutely sensational.
Well, we're not too far away from getting the final quarter underway. The umpire just waiting for the crowd to leave the venue. We're almost there, and that means it's time for Lucy Watkin.
So final quarter here at La Trobe University. Hawthorn leading by 43 points. Lynch and Perrott to kick us off in the middle of the ground. Simpson wrapped up on the edge of the circle. Umpire hovers, crosses his arms for a ball up. So Lynch and Perrott will do it again. Lynch this time won the stoppage. Gogos couldn't get her kick away. Umpire said play on as Kemp intercepts the quick kick and heads to the outer wing. Finds Dom Carbone, who juggles the mark. Plays on. McNeese didn't know what to do, was left shell-shocked as Carbone ran off and sent the ball to half forward. Cameron couldn't quite mark it. McRae started this game really strongly, had a quiet third term, but she's in the action early. Simpson tries to slap it away to Mills in the outer wing. She's tackled, somehow gets the kick up the wing. Looking for McAloon. Hay will meet it first for the Hawks and send it up the outer wing. Looking for Dom Carbone. Trails the boundary out on the full, so a free kick will go the way of the Darebin Falcons, defensive half of that outer wing.
As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play, we'll go with a short chip kick. The umpire gives a little hurry up, and that's what they do through Meyer going up and towards the centre of the ground. Rebelt was there, just came off her hands, couldn't quite stick it, and the pack will quickly form. We'll call a ball up. I just noticed watching on the hill there, one Lisa, Coach Kiwi Roper, watching the game, assistant coach Sandringham Dragons, of course, one of our co-commentators, and she had a bit of interesting information about last week at Essendon, which I'll get back to you shortly on, as it's coming way too high, Millie Shine, and she'll get a free kick. She was on the hill last week watching Essendon and Port Melbourne. Sitting next to her, watching her first game of footy for the year, one Peter Searle.
Well, what does that mean?
I don't know. As the ball is now in the middle of the ground, courtesy of the Sean kick, there was a bit of a grubber. Now going in there is Hazlitt. Hazlitt is immediately wrapped up, but I do know that Peter Searle was inquiring about certain players. Coach Searle back again, maybe?
Oh, geez, you'd love to see that. I mean,
love to.
Geez, I reckon probably a bit stiff to not be coaching the Saints side this year.
So Garner works it towards half forward. Cameron couldn't take the mark really well to smother the kick off Lawson Tavern's boot. And now there'll be a stoppage. At half forward for the Hawks, Sarah Cameron on debut for the Hawks today. St. Kevin's VAFA player has had an almost day, almost taken a couple of marks inside 50, but her pressure has been elite. Is one of the leading disposal getters on the ground. Amy Whelan sends it inside 50 for the Hawks. Gets out the back to Dom Carbone, has McNeese for company. So elects to see it over the boundary line for a throw-in. It's around about 30 metres from that left point post. Hawks heading to the left of your screen, to the left of your dial for this final term. They lead by 43 points, 4 minutes gone.
Amy Whelan to 5 clearances as well. Lucy's been absolutely sensational around stoppage play.
So she played for the Seagulls last year and now has made her way to the Hawks list. As Garner almost got a handball away, and here she is again, Amy Whelan, showing off those wheels as she gets the handball to Hay. Goes inside 50, looking for a target in Cameron. There's the mark from Sarah Cameron. She's been threatening to take it all day. In fact, it's Shannon. So Shannon as well has been threatening inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Directly in front, 15 metres out. Can she kick her first goal? No. She's pushed it left. Eliza Shannon hasn't kicked a goal this year yet.
That's a bad miss. I mean, look, you look at the scoreboard, and I think Hawthorn should probably be 10 goals ahead at this stage. I mean,
well, they've kicked 10 behinds.
Well, there you go. Look, I think this is probably the one area of the ground that they probably should be working on this week at training, just their set shot and goal kicking. That one, I think she sort of tried to tug herself a little bit to the right, try and get a little bit of extra distance on that. Didn't exactly need to.
Gun from full back. Oh, it's not the greatest at kicks, though. Ball's on the carpet, picked up by Carbone, goes a little hurried hand pass away into a contest. In there is McNeese holding it up, and the umpire is circling, blows the whistle, and will call for a ball up. 45 metres out from the Hawthorn goal, going to left of screen for those watching on YouTube. Left of your radio dial for those on wharfradio.com, and at the ground, delay free on 89.1 FM. Simpson was lurking nearby, just put a hurried little hand in there to stop it from getting to Francisi. Maybe how without it missed it. The umpire said no, play on. Still in a pack situation as McKay comes in a layer tackle. Oh, busting the way through is Hay. Hay on the left boot, put into a dangerous position and taking a mark 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Once again is Eliza Shannon.
Well, that's the thing I've been really impressed with Hawthorn. Especially in this second half, it's lowering their eyes, trying to find the right lead heading into the target. And look at this kick.
Oh, Wilbur post.
Oh.
Hello, Wilbur. Hit the woodwork.
Gee, she didn't waste no time trying to get that away.
Hurried up. I like it. Get on with it, she says. 6:11:47 Hawthorn. Darebin 2 behinds. And we've played about 5.5 minutes into this final term.
So Lawson Tavern played it in, looking for McAloon. She dropped the mark. Open the door for Zaghetti, who got a kick around the corner to the pocket. Carbone sees it over the boundary line. So still inside the Hawks. Attacking 50. Darebin struggling to get it out again in this fourth term. The boundary umpire sets himself for a throw-in. Rucks will contest 40 metres from the Hawks' goal as Zagetti picks up the ground ball. Handball ends with Mifsud, wrapped up by Callanan, still got the kick away. Carbone couldn't take the mark, harassed out of it by Lawson Tavern. We'll have another boundary throw in, this time about 15 metres from that right point post inside attacking 50 for the Hawks. So it's going to be Stratton this time who goes up in the ruck. And Cowley do parquet. Tap down, won by Zagetti. Kick towards goal, bounces just away to the right-hand side. Hawthorn's 11th behind of the game. 12th, 6-12-48 lead Darebin, yet to score a goal, 2 behinds. 13 minutes to go in this fourth term.
Hazlitt takes the mark in the back pocket on the broadcast side. Just looking ahead for some options. Millie Shon is on in the pocket. She can get to, just a little too wide. Out of bounds on the full. And Hay will take the resulting free kick for Hawthorn.
It's almost been the story of the day today, Pete. Their skill set, I like what they're trying to do, but they just can't pull it off at the moment.
And her kick will also go out of bounds on the full, so free kick going the way of the Darebin Falcons in Ashley Gunn. I think the difference between the kicks is, besides that fluff one there by the Hawks, is if you look back at the vision, the Hawks kick with purpose, while Darebin's trying to do the same thing, but they're kicking with hesitation.
Yeah, I think maybe a half second too slow, perhaps, because it just allows them to get right back into it. And you look at all the Hawthorn's kicks, especially the ones in the 45. They're just so clean.
Lawson Tavern now with the ball in the opposite back pocket. She'll go long and up the line. Nicole Cullinan went up there. Great spoiling work from behind done by Mifsud. And that sees the ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds with assistance from Emma Humphreys. 6-12-48 Hawthorn. Darebin 2 behind. Don't forget, coming up at 1 p.m. on the VFLW YouTube channel, you can watch Casey versus North Melbourne at Casey Fields with Brent Sternberg and Elise Collette.
So ball back into play. Perrott takes it out of the ruck. Handball swatted away by Callanan. Goes to ground. Now Mifsud ends up with the ball in her hands for a high and an up and under going into forward 50. Barulda slaps it away. Kick goes to the goal square. Just slapped through for a behind. So Hawthorn 6-13-49 to Darebin's 2 behinds. 11 minutes to go in this quarter. Another opportunity for Darebin to bring it out. Doesn't find a target. Ends up in the hands of Lawson Tavern, who gets it to Mackay, who gets it to Rebolt, who goes into the middle of the ground to Simpson. Simpson just managed to squeeze a handball out to Hazlitt. Her handball, though, picked off by McRae, who goes over the top to Francisi. Just got one out to Mifsud. Goes short, looking for Cameron. Gunn did really well to bring it to ground, but Whelan cleaned up the crumbs. Got it to Mifsud, who's going to have a shot on goal, but it's going to work its way left and miss everything.
Just quickly around the ground scores, Geelong 6-10-46. Lead Port Melbourne 1 behind. Nearly 8 minutes gone in that final quarter at Deakin. As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play, going short to Gogos. Just before it went out of bounds, he managed to take that. Taking the mark there in front of Grace McRae. Gogos looking for some options. Not much on. Lawson Tavern kind of half-heartedly put the hand up, so she goes, I'll go in your direction then. And there's plenty of a pack performing around her, including Perrott, who's the tallest of them all. She brought it to ground and saw it dribble over the boundary line and out of bounds. And we'll get some thoughts on the dock.
Well, I've been really impressed with the clearance work as well. Sagetti, 7 clearances, Whelan 6, and even Barulson, the 3 as well. So I think you look at those 3 players. They're the grunt work at the source for Hawthorn.
As the ball is thrown back into play now, taken out by Dom Carbone, who kicks it towards the hotspot, 30 metres out from goal. Went over the head there, Stratton. Blackwood going with her as well. Here's a hurried little soccer along the ground. Jessie Williams has put it through, and she has got 3. And that moves the score now to 7-13-55 Hawthorn. Darebin 2 behind. Everyone was watching Stratton. They didn't see Williams out the back.
Well, look, it was a Christy Stratton show at the first half, but Jessie Williams has just taken reins in the second half. I've really loved watching her at the foot of the ball every time. She's just looking very lively at every chance. And geez, I tell you what, I like the look of this forward line for Hawthorn.
I was about to say, one thing I really enjoyed about the Hawks forward line is even if they don't get that mark, they've made an opportunity every single time.
Absolutely, and that's a genius thing. I'm looking at this forward line set up here at Hawthorn. There's not exactly a tall forward there. Obviously, Tegan Cunningham's on the list, not playing today, but I've really enjoyed watching them sort of make up that forward line structure on the fly. They've got two really good small forward options there that could potentially be on a Hawthorn list in 2023.
So it's going to be another clearance going the way of the Hawks. Barulson gets to centre half forward. 2 bounces. What she's going to do, she's going to go towards goal. Umpire is going to give a free kick because she was pushed off it after she kicked it. So is it going to be 2 in a minute for the Hawks?
It looked like they're going to put it at the top of the square here, the umpires.
Downfield free kick, yeah.
So downfield free kick. Barulden with that excellent run from the centre of the ground. She was dealt with after she kicked it, so it hands the football to Jessie Williams.
Yes, sir.
And she puts it straight through the middle for her 4th goal of the game. Hawks 8-13, 61 to Darebin, 2 behinds.
I tell you what, Jessie Williams has got to buy Barulson a drink there, because that was all set up by her in that passage of play. Just the ability to just burst out of the stoppage.
Yep.
That's been fantastic. I've been very impressed with how she's played today.
I think she comes from an athletics background, so it doesn't surprise me that she's got some pace and some good running skills.
I tell you what, you wouldn't mind seeing that on an AFLW field next year.
Just looking at from the development list, born in 99, 170 centimetres tall, and home club is Aberfeldy.
I think she's a Hawks Academy player as well.
So look out for her, maybe, possibly AFLW listed, who knows?
Here she comes again.
And she has another crack at it, and with the help of Emma Humphreys, they managed to corral their Darebin opponent, but in comes Buckley to try and wrap things up, and the umpire blows the whistle and says, I'll have the football back, please. Just near the half-forward flank for Hawthorn on the broadcast side of the ground. Perrott versus Lynch again. Perrott wins it down. Good little body work here. Humphreys went onto it, couldn't get there in the nick of time. Bailey tried to get a hurry kick away, was smothered. Here comes Cullinan under all kinds of pressure from Camilleri. Managed to get the hand pass away in time. Kelly Dupake was there. Just down there. Kemp copped an elbow on the way through. I think she caught one in the lip. From my vantage point, we're not looking exactly at the TV monitor. I thought I saw a stray elbow. But obviously on YouTube and those at the tribunal will take a little bit of a closer look at that one and examine it.
Chin, Pete. Looked really bad.
John O'Ven there on the boundary line says straight to the chin. In WWE, you'd love it. You call it sweet chin music, but the problem is this is a football game and you can't do that. As coming away with it is Kemp. Kemp now on the right boot, goes long and with purpose, inside 50. Williams, excellent body work. Now she's got space, just couldn't quite pick it up cleanly. Manages to soccer it forward. Here comes Stratton. Stratton says, I want 4. Stratton is just away to the left.
Oh, that looked like a goal.
It looked very good, but just missed by about a metre. 8-14-62 Hawthorn. Darebin 2 behind. 5.5 minutes remaining here in the final quarter.
Would have been a bee's diaphragm in that one, Peter. I think it would have just squeezed the post there.
So Gunn to bring it in for the Falcons. Lynch brought it to ground, got it back, went inboard. Zaghetti, snap on goal, perfect. She adds the Hawks 9th. So that's 9-14-68. Hawks leading by 66 points. Good reward for effort for Lauren Zaghetti. Had an amazing game.
She's been fantastic, Lauren Zaghetti. It's just a player that's just really just dominated from start to end. Been on the end of a lot of good scoring chains off the back of clearance work, and you just look at Darebin. They just look cooked. There's no one really leading towards the ball, and they're just sort of gathering around in a big pack and hoping it comes to them and just try and get it forward through quick kicks without thinking.
So Zaghetti, 20 disposals, just added a goal to that. 2 marks, 2 tackles as well, and she's been very good in the clearances as well for the Hawks.
Ball is thrown up in the air. Perrott wins again. Umpire says there's a bit of a holding going on here, and it will be a free kick going the way of the Darebin Falcons. So they'll have the ball in the middle of the ground on the edge of the 2 circles. And Buckley will go with a kick now. Is that a encroachment? Let's go for a 50-metre walk, shall we, towards centre half forward. So maybe a chance for Darebin to try and get a goal on the scoreboard before time expires. They've got 4 minutes to do it, and Alan Buckley has the ball, and she is about 45 metres out from goal. maybe a bit behind her range. We know it's definitely Lucy Watkin range. We saw her kick off one step one day from outside 50 at Melbourne Uni.
What can I say?
In comes Buckley. Kicks it. It's long, but it will hit hands at the goal square. Came out originally by Francisi. Went over the top. That was good. Beraldson again gets it. Now kicks it long. Williams is further up the ground if they can try and get it to her. Trying to get it there is Camilleri, and the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds. And we will call for a throw-in just near the scoreboard. 9-14-68 Hawthorn. Darebin 2 behind. 3.5 minutes remaining in the game.
So good opportunity for Darebin to keep it in their forward half and kick their first goal of the game. Lynch and Perrott in the ruck again. Tap down. Gogos, first to get hands to it. Does get the kick inside 50. Mills juggles it. Takes the mark. Trinity Mills, slight angle. 45 from goal. Does she have the distance? There's no players in the goal square at the moment. If she can kick it quickly, she goes in that direction. No mark taken. McClendon did well. Cowley du Parquet and McAloon were there in the pocket. They've got it out for a stoppage. So another opportunity here for the Falcons.
I'll tell you what, there haven't been many winners around the ground for Darebin today, but I've really liked Cowley du Parquet. I mean, just the way she attacks the ball, there's something about her that I just really enjoy.
She's played a great game, Cowley du Parquet, as the ball comes back in. Neither ruck got a hand to it. Buckley slapped it away. Lynch came through, got it off the ground. Baralston handballs it back to Hay. She had company. Now Carbone got it to Camilleri, who got it back to McClendon. Was steady in defence to get a kick to Perrott, who'll take a good calming mark for the Hawks' defence.
Perrott with the football, just looking around, waiting, letting the time waste away. Why not when your side is up by 66 points? Kicks up the line, looking for McRae. Originally gets Zaghetti with a hand pass over the top, teaming up with Cameron, who releases. And now the long kick towards the half-forward flank. As the ball dribbles inside the centre square now. Good little shepherding work done by Baraldson on that occasion, but in the end, Balding's kick wasn't all that great. It ended up with Lawson Tabbert, who got it out towards the centre wing position on the northern side of the ground. Hawks might win back the football, though. Lawson Tabbert had to go back again and get it with Balding on a hammer. Kicks it up the line. A bit of a clash there as Mifsud tried to go in and pick up the football. Now winning it there is Zaghetti with a hand pass, but straight into trouble. And the umpire will circle, blow the whistle and call for a ball up. Minute remaining in the game. We get some thoughts from the doc.
Well, look, it's just been a terrific win for the Hawks today. I think, look, we can talk about the scoring options, but they've just dominated control of the play for the most part of this game. It's been impressive around the contest by Darebin in patches, but it's just their ball use that's letting them down horribly at the moment.
So ticking down to full time. 40 seconds remaining. Hawthorn lead by 66 points. As the ball just bobbles on that outer wing. Another foray forward late for the Falcons. Simpson couldn't get in front of her opponent now. Hay busts through, holding the football.
Yeah,
so
that's the right call, that.
Callanan, she tells Mackay to give it to her quickly, and she plays on. She just tumbles it inside 50 through the hands of Simpson. McClendon handballs to Zaghetti. Just kicks it to Francisi. He'll mark and will tick down to full time here at Latrobe University. And the Hawks, they get their second win of the VFLW season. And it's a big win by 66 points over the Falcons. Jessie Williams, 4 goals. Don Carbone, a single. And Christy Stratton had 3 first half goals. No goal kickers for the Falcons.
John O'Ven is going to get an interview. Doc, who should we get for John O'Ven?
Oh, geez. It's like a kid in candy store. You can pick about maybe half a dozen players to really pick from. I reckon we should get Christy Stratton on board, I think.
Okay, let's go for the
Strat attack, you reckon?
Yeah, let's go for the Strat attack.
Absolutely, I'll be with her very shortly.
Kicked 3 goals today, Christy Stratton. And just before we quickly get into this game, I just want to give an around-the-ground score. Nearing full-time at Deakin University, Geelong, 7-10-52. Lead Port Melbourne, 1 behind. Oof. And remember, coming up at 1 o'clock on the VFLW YouTube channel, you'll have Casey versus North Melbourne, Brent Sternberg with Elise Collette. But for Alex Doherty and Lucy Watkin, your thoughts on Hawthorn's big win today at Latrobe.
Yeah, look, I think it's been a statement win here today by Hawthorn. I think they've the way that they've pressed, they've suffocated Darebin's ball movement early in that first quarter. The second quarter, yeah, Darebin I think was impressive around the contest, but then you look at the overall skill set that Darebin have. I mean, it's almost like it's left for too few. I mean, Gogos was good, Callanan was very good, Lawson Taven was a rock in defence for the most part of this game, but then after that, like, who's lifting for this team?
Yeah,
I mean, there's just not a lot there for Darebin at the moment, but I think they'll go back and they'll work on it. And they'll highlight bits and pieces that have really impressed, and I've definitely loved their work around the contest. It was very, very good, especially in that second quarter. But you look at the Hawks, and I think Lucy, just the overall fitness is just was the big difference in the end.
Yeah, they were running out that game very, very strongly, the Hawks. But John O'Ven has got our guest in Christy Stratton.
I do have Christy Stratton with me. Thanks, Luce. Well, it's good to be back on the winners list, Christy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, the girls played really well today, and it was a well-deserved win.
You had 8 goals between yourself, Dom Cummins, and Jesse Williams. This forward line at Hawthorn, it's doing pretty well so far in the season.
Yeah, well, unfortunately we had a late withdrawal with Tam, Luke going out, so a bit of a small forward line change-up, which was a bit different for us, but yeah, us forwards love kicking goals.
Got the Pies next week. You don't know when or where, but I did follow McMillan, senior coach of the Pies. She reckons you're pretty good. What are you looking forward to next week?
Oh, I mean, playing my old team, it's never going to be easy, so yeah, it will be exciting. But yeah, us Hawks have to bring our best game to play against Collingwood, so yeah.
Well, Christy Stratton, thanks so much for joining us on WharfRadio.com.
Thank you for having me.
Christy Stratton down there on the boundary line. Thanks to John O'Ven for his marvellous work down there. Yes, just that little interesting twist in the tail, isn't it, next week? Stratton versus her old team.
Yeah, geez, I reckon she'd be fired up for that one, Pete. Don't you reckon? It's watched a few Collingwood games in the VFLW last year, and Stratton was just absolutely amazing. It was just a shame to see her let go by the Pies. I think it's like the old saying goes, someone else's trash is another person's treasure, Lucy.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought Stratton, she did really well in the VFLW season last year as well, in that she was one of those players that in the VFLW made herself pickable for that AFLW team. She had performances they couldn't ignore, and then she had a really strong run of form, I thought, for Collingwood. Played in the prelim final against Brisbane. That she was unfortunately the player on the goal line that the ball bounced over her head from Sarah Road. Then they just missed out on playing in that grand final. So it goes to show what changing the VFLW season to this time of the year has done, because it allowed a player like her to get back into that AFLW side. But her performance today, as she said, it was a small forward line, and they still did everything they could to bring the ball to ground, make it a contest, and make it hard for the Falcons' defence, despite not having that target up forward.
Absolutely, and I think you look at her form up forward, and I think we've seen her play across the midfield at times at Collingwood last year. She's obviously added another string to her bow, playing as that small forward. Just the way she leads, the way she pressures the ball, that's exactly what you want from your small forwards. And I tell you what, if she keeps up this form, there's just going to be no ignoring, that she deserves another crack at the AFLW next year.
Let me pose this thought to you, looking further ahead for Hawthorn as they'll enter the AFLW. Obviously, the side that you've got out there, you might take maybe about a third, a half or so to your AFLW list. If you look at how they're playing now, what's the type of positional player do you think you would like to get for them just to sprinkle into their side to improve on what we've seen today?
Oh, it's a tough one, because I think back, you don't want to alter the list too much. If you want a team to do well, then I think just keep the core group of this team together and see what they can do. And at the moment, they're playing good football. Like we saw it today, and we've seen it a couple of weeks ago when they won quite handily. I think you look. I don't know what exactly the key needs are. Look, they've got a lot of good players that played well today. Seghetti, you got Carbone, I thought did some really good things. Nick Garner was quite solid across that defensive line, just intercepting a lot of things at will. But if you really you could go after a big name player in Victoria, and I think it certainly would help the Hawks a lot. But I think you look at the core list, and I think the way that they just connect with each other already, I don't think you really need to worry too much about.
Yeah, I thought Ainsley Kemp was really, really good today. I think her decision-making, she was so level-headed in defence, but also just her ability to affect every contest that she was a part of, and every disposal that she had, I reckon, would have been pretty much effective. And she really controlled play from that back line, and I really liked her game today. In terms of a player that you want to bring in, I suppose you always want experience in the midfield, I think. And, it's really hard, and we've seen it, I think, from teams like Geelong and stuff like that, when they've gone into the AFLW. If you don't have an experienced midfielder who knows what it's like playing in the AFLW, you can struggle in that area a bit. So I think sometimes you do have to bring in someone like that who can, make a difference in that area, have an impact.
For me, and the key difference is Tamara Luke was the late withdrawal. I looked at their forward line. Despite them kicking a lot of goals today, I thought, geez, I'd like Stratton to be the number 2 and Williams to be the number 3 and have, because Perrott was doing all the rucking today, have just that other tall who can play forward. So you can mix up your forward line if you want to be small or tall and either rove off or go for a blitz and run in.
Yeah, definitely. It would have made such a difference. We did mention how well Chrissy Stratton and Williams and Carbone did to make everything a contest inside forward 50. But can you imagine if they had a tall forward that was there for them to run through and pick up those crumbs? Like, that would have made such a difference. But there's not much you can do when you have laid outs like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you've got Tegan Cunningham that's waiting back in the wings in the next week or two. So, and we've seen the situation with her at Melbourne that Harris came in, sort of forced her a little bit to go out. I think I personally think she's still got another year or two. We know she's an elder head now in women's football, but I honestly think you look at her, you plunk her into the goal square. She's a good contested grab. So I wouldn't mind seeing how this Hawks forward line unit operates with her in there, because I think she's been very good. She's been very good considering the fact that she's come into football quite late.
Yeah.
I think there's certainly still a lot of upside with this Hawthorn team, and like you said, Lucy, look, maybe a senior experienced head in the midfield from one of the rival Victorian clubs wouldn't be a bad idea.
That or a fountain of youth for Lou Watton and Meg Hutchins to turn back the time maybe about 10 years so they can run out there again. Well, that just about wraps things up here on wharfradio.com here at the ground. Don't forget, 1 o'clock you have Casey Demons and North Melbourne from Casey Fields on the VFLW YouTube stream. First of all, to John O'Van, who did his work on the boundary. Ironically, as you finish, it just got that little bit cooler.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's been very cool up here by the feels of things. No, but it was a great day out here at Latrobe, and looking forward to next week.
Thank you very much to Jono. To Alex Doherty from the Mongrel Punt down the end, thank you for your fine work as match analyst today.
Oh, always a pleasure to call with you, Pete, and to you, Lucy, and to you, Jono, as well. Can't wait to do it all again next time.
And a warm welcome back to the superstar herself. You see her on afl.com.au, or if you open the app, you see her smiley face promoting the Credit to the Girls podcast. And I have a bone to pick. Nat Edwards was away. Why wasn't this woman hosting the W show? Why wasn't Lucy Watkin in the seat?
Look, I would have been ready for the call-up, but maybe one day. But so good to be back on air with Wharf Radio. Looking forward to another really, really, really good VFLW season. So hopefully I'll be back very soon.
If it doesn't happen next time, I'm going to a change.org petition. Put Lucy Watkin in the W show host chair.
Oh, one of the first signed, Peter. I'll tell you what.
Thank you very much to Lucy Watkin, Alex Doherty and John O'Van. I'm Peter Holden. Thank you so much for your company. Hawthorn winners today, 9-14-68 over the Darebin Falcons, 2 behinds. We'll catch you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Collingwood and Williamstown.